What are they doing? Well, hello. Good evening. Let me change this background real quick, y'all. Oh, started with Mary to Madison. There we go. Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's Brandy Janae, and I am joined today with BarbMeetsWorld.
Johnny's.
So that's BarbMeetsWorld. She is going to be a new guest with me, and I'm going to guest on hers, and we're going to do some more reviews, y'all. So hopefully we'll do all three of us, myself, Word on the Curve, and BarbMeetsWorld for our Real Housewives of Potomac Housewife Awards. Yay!
I'm so excited. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I think it's the cutest thing. And I feel like it's been on my mind for so long. So I'm glad to just kind of bring it to fruition. Now I just need y'all to come on, subscribe to the channel so y'all can place your votes, okay? So we can get a real good, accurate depiction of what we think the girls did this season for Real Housewives of Potomac. And I think it's really fun and cute, right? To give out our own awards, okay?
I mean, if they could do it at BravoCon, why can't we do it? So
exactly. And listen, giving out that Housewife Award, speaking of BravoCon, I feel like that was the precursor to having Nene rejoin Ultimate Girl Trip, because I mentioned in the live review, I said, again, this is not to take anything away from Kandi, but as a housewife, I thought she didn't really bring much. It was her family, in my opinion, that kind of kept her interesting. But as far as her, like, she didn't really she didn't have anything really to say about anybody. She didn't really act. So I just thought it was very premature for her to be getting like the Housewife Achievement Award, or what was it called? Something like that?
Housewives Achievement. Yeah, I think Housewives Achievement.
Yeah, it was something. And I thought, you need to be giving that to Miss Nene Leakes. Like,
of course.
I think way down the line.
I think we all low key know that it should have, been designated to Nene right off the bat, but obviously they were still mending fences and stuff. I've always respected Kandi as a businesswoman. To your point, I think she brought a lot in terms of the people around her. And I mean, yes, did we see her get married, open businesses, have kids and stuff like that on the show? Yes, of course. But no, her as a person, was I like, oh my God, Kandi is bringing it in this scene? Like, no, not
exactly. She really skated.
She was messy though a lot of times. She used to say a lot of things low key though, I feel, and she would never be called to the carpet for it, or she would always skate by. But she was messy low key. But
she was. So yes, listen, y'all. Thank you for joining. Hi, Summer Morning Star. Thank you so much for commenting. Listen, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can go over to the community tab and place your vote for Real Housewives of Potomac. Season 10 Housewife Awards. Okay, we have, I think, 7 categories to look for. So just let us know what you think and who should win. So listen, we're gonna switch this up a little bit, and we're gonna start off with Married to Medicine. Episode 9, Season 12, Unexpected Consequences. And of course, this is a continuation from the girls' trip that Contessa has planned. Put a pin in there. Because I give Contessa a lot of flack for her dressing. I give her a lot of flack for her being in things that do not even concern her.
Absolutely.
I say Contessa is going to find her way in the scene. She don't care what. She's going to parkour her way in the scene and make it work. But I'm gonna give her all the props, especially after that horrible trip we had to sit through with Miss Angel. Contessa, girl, you need to
no comparison.
Those trips.
No comparison. She could plan a girls trip for me any day if it means not being driven around 20 million hours a day on back roads and being lost. Yeah, no.
Exactly.
Contessa got it.
Literally just watched them drive around in the car. Like that was really all y'all did, and went to a rooftop at a store. And the most cringiest thing was announcing what you spent at the store. I was just like, ew, like that was so yucky. And they had Angel written all over it. I can't wait for them to talk about it at the reunion so we can find out. Because mark my words, I'm almost certain that was Angel's idea.
With the prices?
Yes.
I don't know if it was her idea as much as it's clear that they've been reading the comments, in my opinion. It's clear that they have became aware that they are known as Potomac. I feel like they're trying to combat some of that stigma, I feel like, because any other time Bravo is going to flash the number for us. You don't really need to, get in a school circle and talk about, oh my God, my $250 earrings, which means that I'm rich and my kids are rich. Awkward.
That did not age well at all.
It didn't give what they thought it was supposed to give, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would tell you, I saw a small clip of the after show, and Angel made the comment about Kemosabe being like a small business. Even she said, even though it's well known, it's a small business. And so was talking about how she felt it was very important for the girls to patronize the shop. So with that coupled with the fact that every time she is in position to defend herself about her season, it was a flop. Poor thing. I mean, it just is what it is. She combats it with a value amount. So I recognized when they were on Watch What Happens Live and her husband responded, while we liked the way he responded because he was taking up for his wife, it was still pretty questionable that, because he said, well, she lives the life they all want to live. And I know, but you realize that this show been on for 10 seasons, and here she is joining where they are, right? They've already been here. So it's confusing to me, not to say that you don't have more than them, but it's confusing to me that you would bring yourself somewhere else so that you could prove that you had more than them.
I feel like she did that a couple times though in the season, if you think about it. I remember when they were in Nevis, right? And she's like, oh, Bobby sent me $5,000 or whatever. And they were all like, okay, like, because it's always hinged upon, it always somehow goes back to Bobby.
Right.
If I feel like she was standing in completely her own, then they wouldn't have so much to come at her with, but it's everything is always coming back somehow to Bobby. And we don't care about Bobby. We want to know about you, Angel. Like
that's right. That's right. And even with the house, she says that was a $1.5 million house. And it's like, but if the water isn't running, it's a piece of trash. You know what I mean?
I looked at the bathrooms in that house and I could tell like it wasn't as renovated and it wasn't giving as $1.5 million as she thought it was, based on just some little, I really like homes and home decor and real estate and stuff like that. So I was looking real closely and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if you're fooling me with that. But do I feel like production did play a small part in how things transpired? Of course I do. So I fault Angel about 90%, not about 90%.
It's got to be. I know, and that's the buzz, is that a lot of people do feel like production may have set her up. Now, I don't agree at all with it. Only because, like, and listen, y'all know I consider myself a reality guru, because I literally been watching reality TV since The Real World.
Same.
And we talked like the real reality, right? So, and we have gone all of these years. Of course, we know that we've gotten the idea of how this thing works, right? And so I get why people would kind of want to say that it was production, but like I explained on the live last week, y'all, production, it's not their job to step in and change courses of what's happening, right? You know, so yeah, if her company is supposed to curate experiences, from what we saw, you're in the wrong business, right? From what we saw, because it's not about if you offer, because her rebuttal was, well, we don't offer overnight accommodations. You know, you have contracts with these, let's say, vendors that you use to pay the experiences. So then you're the coordinator, right? Like a travel agent. That is their equivalent. So if you hire me to be your travel agent, and by the time you get to where you're going, I ain't gave you nothing to do. I ain't told you where to go. You know, the place you stand in, I didn't let you know that it works off of well water, and you might not have consistently running water. And to prepare for that, you're gonna think I suck at my job. Like, and you're not going to use me again, you know? So I'm saying the same thing with her. Like, if your company is to curate experiences, it is unfortunate that this is what you kind of got left with. And I don't think production, that trip was so boring. I feel like, if anything, they probably up the ante as far as whatever the drama or suspense was about, like even with the travel map and stuff. Because yeah, as boring as it was to watch them in the car, guess what production was at? In their damn car. You know what I mean? Like right behind.
Well, you had to think it made it probably put production in a stressful situation too, because they're like, it probably impacted filming times and all that type of stuff. So there was
no content. Let's just start with that, because you didn't give them no content.
She had numerous chances to correct the wrongs, and it's like she just kept like spiraling down, it seemed. And even as far as just communications, I feel like it was as simple as sending a text saying, hey ladies, change of plans, or hey, we're over here, or hey, is everybody good? Good morning, we're getting dressed, we're about to head that way. Like whatever it was, just I don't know why that group text wasn't blowing up the entire time that they were there. It was just it was the only thing that I feel like she did right and had going for herself in terms of that trip was the food. Each time they showed the food did look good. I will say that.
Well,
it's unfortunate that they didn't get to eat.
It didn't look like it cost $10,000, but that's all I'm saying.
They didn't get to eat the last meal though, which I did feel really bad for the chef and stuff, because that could have been a great way to promote his, business.
That's right. So, that's right.
He really dropped the ball in that one.
Well, what I think, now this is kind of like me using the reality expertise. I feel like she made the number one rule, like housewife mistake, which was you came in with a predisposed idea of what you wanted to give us, what you wanted to show us. And the problem with that is, especially when it comes to production and editing and things, you don't get to control those things. You know what I mean? Like you just don't. Like you only are in control of what is filmed. You know what I mean? Like what you are there to film, but you have no control over the way it's broken, cut, chopped, screwed, and delivered to us. So I feel like for her, I think she knew she was starting this business. Anybody going on reality TV should have something that they want, outside to promote. So I feel like that's what her goal was, right? Like, let me get on this show, let me promote my business. And I feel like she used the show. To me, it looked like she treated them like a job, like coworkers. And that's the reason why the communication dropped. I feel like even that night at her house when she sent them all back, when they like, I was thinking that's way early. First of all, you separated the girls. And I knew then that was going to be a disaster, because what girls trip do you have and you take 3 of y'all and go an hour away from where everybody else is staying?
That's not going to be fun to watch. And I feel like that's the most fun that we usually get is after hours. They take their, makeup off, whatever. They're peeking, twerking on the island or whatever.
You get to see, like, you have a little fun, right?
Playing games and stuff. That's what we really love to.
My favorite parts of most seasons is getting them to the trip and to see how the trip is going to be. And it also gives me like aspiration. I've now, since I've done Dinner in the Sky. Where did I get that from? Atlanta Housewives,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. In Canada, yeah.
Yeah, you did?
No. I'm thinking back to seeing it. I remember they did do that. That's so cool.
Yes, they did.
I do too. I love a trip. So I'm always living vicariously through them and just going through those experiences. But this was a trip I didn't. I do still want to go to Colorado, but I'm definitely not going to.
Why you didn't go to a weed dispensary or something? See, like that would have been fun. Like, because I'm not going to get on the slopes. So, and if I got anywhere that was close to where the slopes are, we're gonna be right in the cabin. Like, we're not going up on the
like, some type of tour, or like there's so many things there I feel like that they could have gotten into. And even with the accommodations, if you didn't have enough space in your home, fine, so be it. Why didn't you like get like a bunch of like tiny houses or something and put them on your property and like, put up lights and
that would have been a flex. Like, that would have been a real flex.
I would have did that, but that's just me.
And those girls, Jazz, who stayed with her, Tia and Kay, it wasn't even like they were in the car, like chatting it up about how much fun they had. Like, I literally think when them cameras went down, Angel was off the clock and she was not moving, girls.
They didn't see her probably until the morning, which that's awkward. Now we're just up in somebody's house, like, this is boring. Dang. Like,
so I go back to, I put all of the blame 100% on Angel. Yeah.
Oh, yes. She could have steered that in a positive direction, and for some odd reason, she just kept.
And it's unfortunate because I don't have like a dislike for her. I usually can give a housewife another season. However, I remember when she brought out that information about the NFL wife spreading the rumor about her. Now, the 30,000 and if you was trapping your husband, that didn't matter to me. But I believe what that girl had to say about her being a mean girl. I believed it as soon as it came out her mouth. I said, I believe every word that lady is saying. I don't even know that lady. But the reason why is because why would you give people information like that where was they going to get that from? You know what I mean? It was like, so it had to be bubbling in you. And as I watched her, like I said it on the last review also, we are told what a mean girl looks like. And I think Giselle has gotten that rap because with her and Robin, because they're really friends, when they were together, they bantered, right? Because we didn't see that with Kay and Angel. They looked like they were practically strangers. All y'all did do was go to school.
They've known each other for 20 years. They haven't been like
clearly,
this.
I agree, clearly, And so I'm saying that to say it did look like Robin and Giselle, were ostracized to, you know what I'm saying, like in the club of their own while everybody else is over here. And when you're really friends with somebody, I don't know if anything is all that wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like outside of you, like specifically trying to pick on somebody. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to Angel, that's what I said, what we don't talk enough about is the mean girl who pretends to not be a mean girl. Because that's what I see from her. And again, going back to when she separated those girls, what girl does that for a girl's trip?
And doesn't stand on business when called out about it.
That's right.
She's not doing that.
Right. If you was feeling that way,
she doesn't just stand in it. You were trying to be funny about certain things, and then when they call you out about it, it's like, oh no, that wasn't yes, it was the case. I also didn't care for how she was handling Wendy, as opposed to being more upset at Wendy compared to Giselle, who is the person that was starting and was actively like admitting and poking at you and saying certain things, but you always spoke for Wendy. So she has a lot to work on. If she does come back next season, she has a lot I feel like she needs to work on during the off season. However, I'm not as confident that she might be coming back next season now that I think of it, because of all the negative reviews and comments and stuff she was getting on her business, her Google page or whatever. That I don't agree with. That is
I don't either.
Weird parasocial relationships people try to form and try to pose as, different people. And no, you guys have never been at her business. You guys have never utilized her.
She haven't been there either from what we saw.
Yeah, exactly. So y'all don't need to be down there.
No, I agree.
Comments and stuff like that, doing that I never will agree with.
That's too far, right? That's too far. I totally 1000% agree with that. That's not cool. But I listen, Angel don't have to come back for me. I don't want to see her again.
I mean, do you want Tia to come back?
Tia can come back. Now listen, she's a little flip-floppy, So listen, y'all. Tia is like who's the flip flopper, and she is one of the nominees for the flip flopper. But she's better than Angel. Listen, Angel can actually the one who actually can go. I'll take Angel over Ashley.
I think there is a very strong push from like pretty much everybody. I feel like out here is going saying we do not want to see Ashley. People have been saying that for like the last 3-4 seasons, and
because you exploit your husband in her situation when she's not the housewife, it's you. And then you go sit up and try to play in my face like you weren't married to this man and had these problems. So now you act like you kind of act like that those things never happened. And you present yourself today as like this, sexually, free.
Everything's over-sexualized. Yeah. It's just you broke up with the boy just to get back with the boy. Just like no one cares about what she has to give. She's been trying to step it up as far as her fashions and all this.
She's a culture vulture. That's what I think. And listen, I don't know, because somebody might say, well, she's half Black, and maybe that gives her, some room to be a part of the culture. Maybe so. I'm just going off of what she's shown us. I ain't seen none of this before. So what I'm trying to figure out is who was this girl? Where has she been all this time? Right?
Just the way she's talking.
You putting it on.
The mannerisms. The person that said that though, shout outs to, I don't know if you watch Bonnie Scotch, shout outs to my girl Bonnie. She actually is someone who brought up the fact that Ashley kind of gives like she's portraying like this idea of what she thinks Blackness is, and that reads to me every single time she tries to use certain language or certain phrases or certain certain things she does. It just seems so inauthentic at times.
That's right. That's it. And the nail on the head. And I think, like you say, I think we're just over it. Like at first she was kind of in this messy space and she skated through with all of that. But that kind of becomes the problem when certain key characters are gone. Because now the spotlight is, on you bigger. And I don't like the way she exploited her mom and, now the sister about the dad, and we don't even know this guy. Like, cut it out.
Yeah. As an OG, she's doing so much more.
Cool, Plenty of women out here sleeping with men that are trash. Like, your mama is not alone.
No, unfortunately. She should be bringing in so much more as an OG, and she's just not. Like,
she's
simple.
Not.
He gets overshadowed by people that have been on the season 1, 2, that have been on 1 or 2 seasons, and she's been on for, you know, all 10. It's
right. Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of, they can give Angel another try, I guess, if they get rid of her. Like, because I am over Ashley altogether.
I agree.
Jackson?
I agree.
I am over her. So let's get into back to Married to Medicine. So what I was saying back to the girls trip, that's how we got all over here, because Contessa deserves her props, okay, for planning this trip. So far, I am loving it. And she is finally appropriately dressed for what they are doing and where they are, because that's another gripe I give her a hard time about. Like, Contessa, girl, where are you going? Right?
Awful. Oh my gosh. I don't know why she even owns her. It's not even that it's always bad as much as it's also like, why do you even own that? Like,
it's out of place. She always have that in your closet. And it's like where you like the cowboy car shoot. It was like, now your body is everything, but girl, did you get the memo about what was going on?
So strange to me. Oh my God.
She's not self-aware about that. But again, on the trip, she's doing good. So we back at the villa. Heavenly joins the ladies right after we heard Simone say that Heavenly didn't show up because she was afraid of her. So apparently, what happened? Apparently, Heavenly complained to production, somebody, that Simone pushed her. When we saw Simone take her hand and say, "Don't touch me," Heavenly perceived that as a push. Heavenly perceived that as Simone being unhinged and aggressive. And I'm not exactly sure what she said, but I thought it was interesting that in this episode, she did admit to knowing what words to use to get herself out of being able to join the trip. And it's interesting. We still got another episode, but I thought nobody caught that, because what are we over here talking about if you already are going to admit that, hey, like basically like you blew something out of proportion, you know, and you know that you did.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I wish she had been on Watch What Happens Live that after that episode, so Andy could have asked her to expound upon that, because what were you meaning specifically by that? Because that could definitely read as I never agree with people compromising ethics and morals and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're just trying to make something out of nothing, I can't get behind that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so now, and it kind of explains, because I feel like through the episode, I was having this just trying to understand why Simone was so upset about what she's, you know, in the sense of talking about her job and everything. Because I'm thinking, y'all on this show, like, I'm just trying to put it all together, you know, is what she said here really that, you know, like big of a deal? But to your point, when you're talking about you done went to my boss, because see, that's how I'm gonna get with you too. You know what I mean? Like, you go to my boss. It's not like we having a conversation where we're trying to work out whatever on our own. And what you do with the boss is, like you said, use these trigger and buzzwords, you know, that
I don't agree with that behavior.
Yeah, that could like harm my livelihood, like that. And so maybe that's, now that I'm saying that, that's probably where Simone is, because Simone and Jackie, they still work. You know what I mean? Like, even though
I can't say though that I feel like at this point in time, with Simone being at least going on at least 30 years in her career, probably, I can't say that anything that she does on this show would be able to take away from the brand and the character in which she presents herself in the workplace. Though at the same time, I can't say that I see that happening, because if that was the case, she would have painted herself in a negative professional light the last 2 reunions, just the last 2 reunions. reunions, for instance, where she said things that I feel like were completely unhinged. So I can't necessarily get behind that logic of saying that, yeah, like, oh my God, you could have like ruined my business and da da da. But do I agree at the same time that as it was presented, does it seem as though Heavenly, I like the word choice that Toya used in her interview with Carlos that just came out. I
gotta still watch that.
She said that when Simone removed Heavenly's hand around her, I will agree with that. The gesture did seem like a removal more than it seemed like a get your hand. Yes, but going back to Heavenly and Carlos's conversation that they do in their weekly recaps or whatever, Heavenly said that there was a lot more with that we didn't see, where Simone was just going in and going off and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. So I do feel like a bit more was added and subtracted from both sides. That's where they should just agree to disagree and let bygones be bygones, more so than this side needs to apologize to this side or whatever. That no.
Now let's talk about Miss Jackie though. So in this same scene, Jackie is pulling Simone to the side, wanting to plead with her about being able to listen to Heavenly, letting Heavenly talk and get out what she wants to get out. And of course, throughout the course of the years, we know that Simone and Jackie have this rift about Jackie's friendship with Heavenly, and Simone feeling like Jackie does not, I don't want to use the word take up for her, but I think that's the term she would use. But I really want to say, like, Jackie doesn't speak up for what she should speak up for, like a right and a wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just kind of, I feel like what Simone want to see from her as a friend. You know, like, I wouldn't want a friend, even if you had a mutual friend, like if you know that friend has done something to me wrong, don't come over here talking me down, you know what I mean, about my feelings about it. Like, tell your friend, you know, like, you're wrong, friend, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't do that. But I also do think that when you know who people are, like Jackie seems to me to be non-confrontational. So I think that's probably where we see a lot of her silence. It's not that she wouldn't say anything, but when it comes to Simone or Heavenly, those are not two, because you're going to get into some type of word battle. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to say what you say and they just kind of be like, yeah, well, okay, Jackie, you know what I mean? Not usually. We saw Heavenly kind of do that with Jackie in this episode, which that also, I'm going to just get this out really quick. What I determined with Heavenly, and this is why Toya got her foot on her neck, everybody seemed to have agreed that they want to support Heavenly in her campaign. And so I think collectively, everybody seems to be working to keep Heavenly in a space that keeps Heavenly from looking like she's crashing out. You know, your mama, you know how she does. So, and I think Simone and Simone and Toya are not here for the shit. Excuse my French, but they're not here for it.
And to a degree, do I understand how Toya would take any opportunity to come to Heavenly with the same smoke that Heavenly has came to her with in the past? Totally understand that. But yes, it seems as though everybody kind of is allowing her to do whatever she's doing as far as this campaign and for a greater purpose and all of that. I do feel like, especially going back to Angel's party, I will say with my whole chest that they were antagonizing that lady.
They were.
To the point, going back to how Simone is feeling like, oh, well, you could have potentially painted me in a negative light professionally. What do you think you guys could have did to her campaign by continuing to poke at her about stuff that has nothing to do with anything? Because at the end of the day, call Heavenly whatever you want, but I like to think that as a person who owns their own business, has employees, has all these different accomplishments and accolades out here, I like to think she knows how to conduct herself when need be. So no, I don't think that she needs you guys to set up different social experiments to test and make sure she can, withstand, to be under the fire of politics and stuff like that. No, I think she knows what she's getting herself into. And I think we can, the two things are not mutually exclusive, in my opinion, but they're trying to make them be. And that's where I
agree. And not for nothing, listen, I agree with you. Like, I understand, because I've been watching the same thing you guys have been, watching. But at the same time, I'm like, what she's doing is so much greater than whatever it is that's going on, you know what I mean, on this show. And maybe you ain't, if you don't want to prop her up or help, support her goal, maybe you just leave her alone. It feels very haterish.
Especially like going back some episodes, was that the family reunion episode or whatever? For instance, I really didn't care for how Toya, again, I understand why you have all the smoke for Heavenly, but at the same time, you calling out the fact that her son is not here or trying to make light of that in front of her other son. Like, why did you need to do that? That was so unnecessary to me, because Heavenly has, said so many different negative things to you on the show. I will agree, but I don't ever recall her saying anything crazy in front of your kids. So why did you need to? Or even one thing, but like Toya is going out of her way to just play up this season, and I can't get past
it's not a good look.
Oh my God, it makes me want to grit my teeth.
Yeah, it's not a good look. And to going like what you said, nor has she ever really kind of said anything about your children. So when the housewife rules, everybody said kids are off limits. That's what they're talking about, like what you're doing. He's not a part of the show. So whether even, and I like you said, I know the point is y'all think that Heavenly is always pretending she doesn't have any problems. And look here, you know that that's a damn lie. Who are you around that don't have any problems? Just because she's not exposing them to you doesn't really mean she don't have them. And so when it comes to this, what happened with her son, it feels like you, as one mom to another, you can have a little bit of compassion about that situation because her husband didn't tell her, first of all. But then the other thing is just like none of us care I mean, the most that we care about is that he walked away and is okay, right? Like, that's what we okay with. But as far as why they didn't say anything and what exactly happened, exactly, no one cares.
I really don't. He's grown, because at the same time, that's a grown man. Like, whatever happened behind their family's closed doors is what happened in that regard, because that is not about Heavenly, that's about her son. So I always try to lend enough respect to the kids and the additional family members on this show that are still able and are still deserving of a certain level of security and a certain level of privacy, I should say.
That's right.
They didn't have the show, she did. So,
and that's exactly it. So so that is what is making Latoya is giving hater vibes. Even with Simone is usually my favorite of the cast. I'm not really I'm not really feeling this little grip that she got with Heavenly. And again, I think because for me, I just look at a bigger picture and it's like, hey, now what y'all could decide is that maybe y'all don't want to film with her anymore, and maybe you just let her go off and do what she's doing. I guess I'm okay with that. But what y'all doing, like you said, picking and prodding and, trying to get her in the space, I don't think that's cool. Like, I don't think that's cool at all.
No.
Let me see what else we got that was in that scene. Because I think we got Heavenly I said here in the room with Quad. What is she talking to Quad about? So that's how she got there. Quad called her up, told her the girls talking trash about and save face. So I think Heavenly told Quad her version of what happened at Angel's party. Quad said it sounded different than the way Simone gave it to her. I mean, her version did sound different to me too, because I don't feel like I saw that. I think and let me just give Simone this bit of credit. This is probably why she had been a favorite of mine for all this time. I think Simone feels like she's genuinely herself. I like that. Like in right, wrong, or indifferent. If you comfortable with who you are and in yourself, I like that. You're for a person.
I think she definitely does show up as herself, and I think that's exactly what she gets on my nerves. Yes, I feel like when she does blurt out those going back to the last two reunions, when she blurted out some wild stuff and came at Quad in some wild ways. No, I think that was 100% her. She's showing all of her teeth, at whoever. I think that's I think
maybe I relate to her because maybe I might do some of those things.
I think that is truly Simone. So I'm always going to commend and appreciate the ladies for showing up, regardless if we like it or don't like it. We applaud you for showing up and being real when so many people show up and their real selves. Sure.
And so I think in that moment, right, her saying, "I don't want to do this with you," I understood that, right? And I feel like if you know you done pissed the lady off, why would you come and do that? You know what I mean? Like, why invade my space if you know that we're not here? You know what I mean? So I think that's gonna go back and forth. I feel like as the episode ends, we do see Simone and Heavenly kind of talking to her, but I think it's a little too late. Yeah, it's a little too late for that. So let's get back to, we see the guys. Of course, that's one thing I like about Married to Medicine. Yes. I love the way they incorporate their husbands. And the husbands really have like a very good banter. I like Steve. So we see Steve and Scott all with their kids. A lot of good ladies are away. Shopping with Cecil. Okay, Cecil is with his boys, his young kids that's still in their pockets. And so he's talking to them about what Simone feeling basically unappreciated and maxed out, tapped out to the, basically. Cecil expresses that most of the disagreements that they have to do with their children. The kids don't feel bad. Them young adults don't feel bad about it at all. No, they don't.
The wedge that's being driven between their parents. They don't care that they're about 85 to 90% the reason why. It's always the arrogance to me, even knowing that they being Simone did still buy him a Tesla and just it's the pompous, arrogant attitude that is accompanied with these actions. For me, that's just like infuriating. And it's also the fact that Cecil, you're not doing anything about this until it gets to like beyond the point of no return. It's seeming like until it starts to impact you didn't really care about it, because these are the same things she's been saying for quite a long time. And even in the scene, in the end, he's talking about let's go get some food, I'll pay or whatever. It's just, this whole conversation was pointless because they still don't seem to care, and there's nothing being done differently. So she picks up and she moves out. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, and you're gonna be there. You guys move in with them. Like, I don't know. He approaches.
I'm gonna say about Simone though, because I feel like as women, we have to take credit at least for some of the positions we put ourselves in, right? I know that I think women, we have been conditioned to sacrifice ourselves, especially as moms, to sacrifice ourselves for everybody else around. And I feel like that's what she's done. So with that being said, I'm not going to give Cecil too much, right? maybe about 25-50%. Maybe it could be a good 50-50, just because if this is the way you guys have operated, right? If Cecil has allowed her to kind of be the one in charge, you keeping up. And let's just face it, that's usually a mom's role, whether they're single or married sometimes, is, the manager of everybody's life. You know what I mean? And so now that you're kind of tired, because when you sacrifice yourself, that's where you end up with resentment, and because nobody asked you to sacrifice yourself, and so now you've given all you had and didn't have, and nobody's reciprocating what you gave. And I'm not saying that they should not, but what I am saying is, because they didn't ask and you just kind of volunteered and you gave, sometimes it's a little hard to come back now and then be like, but hey, like, I don't feel, you know what I'm saying?
That's when you have to look at yourself
in this moment about that, when y'all haven't, that's not the dynamic of the relationship you set up with him.
Yeah, it's like you cheated yourself at that point, and it's a sucky situation to be in. And that applies to a lot of different things and approaches in life. And I'm sure to a degree she does, for lack of better words, blame herself for the situation that they're in. I think everybody played a role in it.
I don't think it's blame yourself. Let's change that. It's just being accountable. Like I'm in this place where, especially with my beauty brand, just kind of promoting like healing and for your purpose and stuff. And so what I mean, sometimes we just have to be accountable, not blame. We talk like, some of us are believers. You hear a lot of people talk about, I joke about how you put God in everything. And sometimes you're just living through your consequence of the decisions that you made, and you just really have to be real about that. You know what I'm saying?
Literally the title of the episode, Unexpected Consequences.
That's right.
I don't think, obviously, I don't think that this is the situation that she saw herself in, or even that she regrets showing up for her kids and stuff.
Right.
Do I think that she is over there just completely hating her life? No, I don't. But I don't think it's sustainable for them to keep having these same issues, especially as they move on into the golden years, and like they should be living their best life right now.
Now, listen, at the age that they are, like when they talked about the law school, I am of the same belief as a single mom. I sacrifice myself to give my children just something better than what was given, or what I, had. And so with that, you take the good with the bad, but then there had to be some responsibility. So I agree with Simone and with you, that there's an entitlement that you feel when you want to decide to go to law school, that your mom should pay for that. Now, if your mother paid for your undergrad, I agree with Simone. I think law school should be on you, like, because
and a $60,000 credit. Like, it's like, pick one, choose one. Like, I don't think she's saying she's trying to kick you out tomorrow, or like, I think
she wants some responsibility.
She's still very much in a place of, she's not saying I'm trying to completely cut you off. She's just saying like there has to be some limit. And just as an adult out here, I don't understand how you can't see like, maybe there is some truth to this, and maybe I should start trying to make my own way, because as children, it's never, or as a parent even, like it's never to just go about parenthood as, oh, I need to continue to do for my child, as you should be setting your child up for when you're no longer here. And right now they're like, it's not.
And even some of the lessons that they have to learn by experience, it's like, so to like, it is, as moms, we want to shelter and protect them so much, but like, as my boys are, leaving the nest and going out, and I've had to really reconcile with, like, I don't have to manage them anymore. They're not my responsibility to manage. And that takes some time. It don't happen as fast as they wanted to, or maybe even you. but you kind of shift, you know, like, and so now it's more just like advisor, right? You know, and there are just some things that you only get from life, like, and I could tell you this and that, and I mean, sometimes me and my friend joked about it. This is about as women. Everybody thinks that they can't have kids until they have kids. You know, until you actually get pregnant. Every girl I ever have known has always said that they thought they couldn't have children, but that was because they had never been pregnant, right?
I can understand that completely. Yeah. Well,
and it's funny, like how that works, you know, because it's like, because technically you know that you can, but because you haven't, you think that you can't, you know, and it's kind of that same. That's the way I'm looking at that with your parents, and it's like, yeah, some stuff they just not even gonna believe you. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to go through, you know, some things. You know what I mean? Some. And so a lot of times when I'm praying about my children, I just pray that they make good decisions, you know, and you know, because that's the best. And then whatever decisions you make, that you have to deal with some consequences, learn from them, so that you don't, you know, continue to repeat the same mistakes. That's kind of the best advice I got for somebody.
I agree. They're not even making the decisions right now. It's just all completely like umbilical cord is like still attached. It seems like.
No, yeah, for sure. They ain't even paying their own rent. How did you graduate from undergrad and you not paying your own rent now?
I don't know.
Even a portion of it, because maybe it's high and okay, fine. Because I'm not opposed to a parent doing whatever I'm not ever gonna tell another parent what to do and what not to do with their children, because you cannot tell me what to do and what not to do with mine. If it's something I feel like I want to do, I'm gonna do it, you know. But with that being said, it's just like you're saying, shift, you know, start the needle, but that go back to her going off on Cecil, and it's like I can see Cecil being caught off guard. Like, well, wait a minute, I thought everything was going along fine. You know what I mean? Because we all operate in the same spaces, you know.
How fast, even the last time it kind of came up when I think he was like making the macaroni and cheese for the party or whatever, and she started to kind of bring that conversation. Before we know it, they're back to like joking and something. So it's like, yeah, it is kind of hard to read, because up until her blowing up in episode 2 or whatever that was, it was always kind of like, yeah, you guys got 2 years, and then, you know, that's it. And like it was little like things being said, but it really wasn't any fire behind it as much as it was. So yeah, I could see it being like, okay, so how do we get here again?
Exactly, right? Like okay, all of a sudden. So yeah, but I agree. The conversation scene, I was glad that he at least had it with them, you know, and I think but I mean, but listen, it's sometimes as long as you can get the information out. And like I remember talking to my kids' dad about about the correspondence, right? And I was saying, me being the mom, being the manager for all of their lives, right? At a certain point, there's just the rebellion against just my voice. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So it's kind of like you could be saying the same thing, but it probably needs to come from somebody else, because as soon as it's coming out of my mouth, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you already, because mom's nagging again. You know what I'm saying? And so you cut it off. And so that's why I was telling him, like, there has to be reinforcement. See, listen, y'all, I'm gonna drop a lot of gems with y'all. This is the reason why the Bible tells you you're supposed to be married when you have your family, because it's not for the whole idea of you some whore if you're not. It's for the idea that there is somebody supposed to be there with you to reinforce what's going on and the way that this family is supposed to, you know, flourish and move. And so, like, again, so going. That's what made it a little bit easier for me to take my management off my kids, is because I realized that and I have boys. I have 3 boys, so that's the other thing. Like, they are becoming young men, and I believe that I can't help them with the transition from young boy to young man. The reason why is not because I don't know information, but I'm not a man, right? So I don't know anything about that. That would be like a dad trying to explain to his daughter her menstrual. You know what I'm like? He could give you technical components about it, but he has no idea. You know, like what any of that is, what it's like, what none of it. So, and it's the same for me. Like, I think young men all have what I would call a rite of passage. And part of that is starting to make their own decisions, and probably like I said, I don't know if I want to use the term rebelling, but there's a repel. I think that's a better word, like a repelling against what your mom has been, you know, like, oh, it's your mom's voice every day, you know. Like this, that. And now you're in this place where you are excited to just make your own decision, in a sense.
Absolutely. That's why I'm confused. Is like, I guess for me, like, I couldn't wait to leave the net. I left at 19. I have not been back since. So, you know, I think it was just different for me to just like, well, I couldn't wait to get out there and make the decisions and do the things and stuff like that. But then at the same time, I get, obviously, we're talking about different people, different financial background, like, totally. So it's really hard to just, you can't just treat everything exactly the same. It's definitely a case by case thing. This is just a very difficult case to watch every week.
They're spoiled. That's what it boils down to. They are the typical spoiled, and not. I don't think it's Michael. I mean, which one? It's the one that Simone and him. They, you know, had a banter. So the other one it doesn't seem like he's as entitled as he is, as Michael is.
I will say I seen on TikTok just like maybe 2 days ago. I did see Michael in somebody's uniform at a job. So
okay, that's good. Oh yeah, I saw that too, because they was like, I work with somebody famous or something.
I was like, at least he has a job. Okay.
Baby steps. That's true. That's true. We're gonna give him some props for that. So the ladies start getting dressed for dinner. They all are calling their men. Honey, you see Toya call her. No, I think that was the next morning when she asked Eugene about the D pic.
Yeah.
But they just call it up, and so they arrive for dinner. The chef comes and introduces himself, and he was a hoot, honey. I said, where did they find him at?
Wu-Tang wings, what? I don't know what they are, but I'll take some.
They look good.
They did.
They look good. And he said he was from Atlanta. He said he got that twang. I thought he was really fun. And again, chef's kiss the contestant. Like, listen, one thing y'all have found out about me, I might run somebody down about some stuff, but when they do right, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I tell you that.
I will always give them their just due.
That's right. In the words of Frankie Dineva, you don't ever tear nobody down without lifting them back. So absolutely. But I'm gonna give Contessa all of her things about this trip. And again, like I said, I thought the chef was fun. Like, I could see myself really enjoying his banter at the table, and the food looked good. So I guess they enjoyed the food as well. So Quad suggests someone give Simone, Quad suggests someone, or Simone says grace. Oh, that's what she did, right? She wanted, Simone is not here for it. She is checked out. She says no. Okay. I don't like when people try to use God on me either. See, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I relate to Simone. Like, don't play with me.
I got it. I just, in my head at that point, I was like, here we go. Like, I knew when she said no, I was just like, okay, it started. Like,
But Quad had no business going over there to ask her. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. You know that is not here for shenanigans. So leave her alone. You know.
Yourself, but yes.
Contessa then asked Heavenly how she ended up coming on the trip. Heavenly goes through her spiel because we done heard this about 3 times.
Yes.
Said she needed to have her energy right. So Contessa said, well, let me clarify. It's not because of Simone, right? So I think Heavenly gave her some answer like what happened at the party. She needed to make sure her head was in the right space so she didn't come in, ruining anything. So Simone when Contessa mentions like, okay, so it's not about Simone. Simone kind of cuts in and confirms that, well, like I shared with the ladies what happened, So it's one of those things where something happens off camera and now it's spilling on camera. I really like those things. And that's probably why I had a hard time with this back and forth between them, because I dislike when y'all have argument or when y'all bring this stuff off camera on camera, because it leaves us in limbo because we wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Hate it. I hate it so much. Oh God, I hate it. I hate when they do that.
So Simone is getting up from the table. Jackie attempts to stop her. Simone say, I need to leave right now in this moment. Toya is now wanting clarification from Heavenly, right, about why she says Simone pushed her. Now, this is a moment where I would agree with Toya. Why did you touch her at all? I agree with that. Like if you're in the bad, like, and Heavenly is intuitive. She has some discernment. You knew that. You know what I'm saying? You knew that lady didn't want you to touch her. You antagonizing.
I can reason with that. If I was Heavenly, no, I wouldn't have done that as well. I will give that much. Yes.
So Toya picking up for her friend. Okay, she like, and okay, Toya. Heavenly gets upset and now she leaves the table. So now we with Brandy, Mimi, and Contessa. They outside with Heavenly at the pool, like asking her. Well, she's trying to explain what's happening. Jackie, Simone, and Toya and Angel are talking inside about the same thing, y'all. Jackie goes outside to plead with Heavenly to give an apology. Now, one thing I will give Jackie. Jackie, for me, can always stay on Married to Medicine, only because I do think they have propped her up as the medicine, even though there are other doctors, right? And so, yeah, right, she's the medicine, to the thing. And so, same like I said with Simone, kind of showing up genuinely as herself, I believe that Jackie does also. And so I kind of enjoy her always being the even keel in a sense. Like when those seasons ago when she went off on Buffy, I did not like her during that season because that was the different Jackie to me. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm not used to you kind of being mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I want her to show up and get more into stuff more, but it's like at the same time, I'm realistic enough to know that it's season 12 now. That's not going to happen. She's there to just bring the medicine more so. So I'm not over here. I'm never going to get myself worked up like, oh my God, Jackie, you need to do more.
Exactly.
You're not going to get it. I'm not going to get it.
I've accepted her for what she brings in a sense. And like I said, I think that she's the staple for the medicine. I do enjoy that when they go on their group trips, they do things, in wherever they go, like in the community with them being doctors. Those things, they kind of warm my heart. And I tell people, no reality show is going to be without some drama. Like, you got to know that nobody's going to watch something that's just everybody is kumbaya. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not even realistic. But yeah, I've kind of come to terms with she's not going to be confrontational. at all.
Yeah.
And her friend needs to come to that realization too. If they're friends now, like, because they said she unfollowed her girl.
I saw that. Oh God. Ugh.
So they decided to play a game because Contessa said she needs to change up the energy. They played this cute, like, pop the balloon game. Contessa had the different, so I think the premise was everybody had a group of balloons, and somebody was supposed to read off a statement about one of the ladies, and you pop the balloon for the housewife or the castmate that you thought the saying was about. And so going back to what you said about the girls' trips and being able to have those little moments, I thought, again, Contessa, I loved the game. I thought it was cute. It wasn't too shady. It was, it was appropriate, right? And it got everybody laughing, kind of, it was a nice way to end the night. Contessa, you better go over there and give Angel some tips, honey.
I agree. And I'm not sure about you, but I know for sure I always appreciate the casts that can argue, go at it, whatever. But in these moments, they bring it back in and they're able to all film together and still, give us something in terms of fun, light shade, hee. And I think Marriage Madison is one of the casts that does that very well, because even Heavenly going over to pop Simone's balloon, like, that was fine. There. So and even technically speaking, going back to Quad and Simone, they went at it at the Angels party. That's kind of where things started. And I think Quad even mentioned it, like, that just happens, and now she's on my face, and
which is what it should be, in a sense, because I mean, this is your job. It is your job. Like, that's what we know for sure. Like I tell people, in your real life, you generally don't go on vacation with people you don't get along with. That's just that. So with case, when the cast trip, the cast got to be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you cannot vacation. I got family members that I won't go on vacation with. So I get it. I do want to ask you though, what do you think the issue is though between Quad and Simone? Why they can never stay locked in? Like, what do you think it all comes down to?
So I think, going back to Simone, I think Simone has called Quad out quite a few times, and I think that she is not exaggerating, because I do follow Quad on Instagram. Quad, when filming is over, she don't hang with these girls.
She be with Portia, Yandy.
Yeah, she be right. Even for me, Quad, I don't know why she's still here, right? I don't dislike Quad, but I would be okay if she didn't come back for another season. Like, I'm not going to miss her. Maybe she should go over to Atlanta Housewives or to Love and Hip Hop or something else, because I agree with you. Those are your friends. Like, this is who you go on vacation with. Y'all all out in Ghana. Because I clocked her being broke up from King. I clocked it around Christmas. Now,
Angel, Yandy, her, I think they were all in.
Right.
Whatever. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was for New Year. I think they do what they call it, Detty.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, some sort of celebration.
I said I seen them out dancing, having a great time. So
and you could, because Yandy is going through what she's going through with her man. If the writing was on the wall, at least for me, I was like, oh yeah, they're not together. Now, I clocked it around Christmas because everybody was posting their pictures, and I noticed that they hadn't. And then the episode came up where they were having that discussion about the fertility. And so I said it to myself. I said, did we just watch the breakup? Because
I think we
felt like a breaking up conversation for me.
It was a breaking up conversation for me when they couldn't even agree on living in one house. Like, there was too many things And maybe you will find a little bit of truth in some of the things that Toya pointed out in her interview with Carlos. When you watch it, that is one of the things that was brought up. Like, you know, they kind of didn't really solidify that foundation before moving on to something as serious as kids and IVF and all these different things. I definitely do agree with that. I feel like that was expedited because of, you know, age and all these different things. So I peeped it too. I was happy that I honestly did think though that they were going to have a baby and then break up, and that's what I like really
right. And what good is that, right?
Exactly. So I'm glad that the breakup happened. There's no kids. There's no strings attached. Y'all can just go your separate ways and be happy.
But I think Simone thinks Quad is phony. That's what I think. And maybe phony, I'm gonna use, I don't want to call it fake, but I do. I think phony. And it would be appropriate if you only hang around me when it's time for for us to do the job. And then when you get with me, we supposed to be like besties, but I haven't heard from you, and I'm not a huge clingy friend. Like I have friendships that we don't have to. I don't know if there's anybody at this moment. I'm 45 years old, also that I talk to every single day, outside of my own children who are in my face, right? Because even as they are off on their own, I think we kind of have about a once a week type of, thing, and again, so I have girlfriends who, we talk once a month, you know what I mean? Some I talk to a little more often than not. So I'm just saying I'm not a clingy friend. However, and I don't require a clingy friend. I prefer not to have a clingy friend because I need my space. I am a Gemini, okay? Like,
me too.
You too, when your birthday?
May 30th.
Well, you're right. You're a May Gemini, so you
the best.
I'm June 17th. Okay.
Okay. I don't think most Geminis I know, like we're right around like within a week back.
Usually I found
somebody who's
Gemini myself.
That's cool.
So like I said, I need my space. So with that being said, I would tell people a lot that it was a saying I put on my Facebook. It was like, I don't fake anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm generally, most people know where they stand with me in general. Like, and it's not like I don't have to necessarily say it directly to you, but it shows up in my actions. You know what I mean? So like most people know if I fool with them or not. And so saying that to say, somebody who you don't really know where you stand with them because they are in and out, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like something I don't want to give energy to, because as soon as I give you this energy, then now you off somewhere else having a good old time. Where's my phone call to go to Ghana? You know, like where?
I understand where you're coming from. I feel like Simone just doesn't like.
In that sister circle, that was what really did it.
I think it's that. I think that I'm kind of the belief of it has something to do with Simone maybe seeing Quad doing and living a certain way and stuff like that, and her just genuinely not. I think it also goes back to Greg too, and quote unquote how she handled things with him and their divorce and all that. Like, I feel like it's just her genuinely just not really liking Quad. And it's not to say that Quad's been perfect either, but I really just think it all falls on Simone.
Well, you might be right about that. Maybe she just really don't like her. I don't understand the point about the whole looking up of things, like the VIN number. But listen, I'm kind of like, when it comes to Quad, I'm thinking, like, sometimes I just wonder, why do people give things energy that really don't require it? You know, like if she's looking at your information, so what? That's her time that she's taking it, you know what I mean, out of her house.
But if you present yourself as my friend and you're doing stuff like that, that is kind of weird, I feel like, rather than I would rather you just ask me point blank, like, girl, I get y'all just. Did he really give you that car though? Because I did see you all together. Like, I just want to know.
She wouldn't believe anything that she told her.
Exactly. Yeah. I do think though, going back to that, I'm glad you brought it up. It is I feel like a part that a lot of people are overlooking with that though is, and just so people know I'm not biased, Heavenly, I didn't really like that she brought that up when she did, because when you think about it, if you're supposed to be Quad's friend, why did you not tell her that a long time ago when it first happened? Why did you have to wait?
Clock it, because you not that's the type of real B I am, right? Because you keep telling me something, you like, why am I just hearing this from you? I'm not gonna question that person, because again, whatever that person is overdoing, if my stuff is legit and in order, ain't no reason for me to be up in arms with, you know what I mean? But if you sat on this information and, like you said, the only way it's coming out now is because y'all mad, now I'm looking at you cross-eyed, not her. You know, yeah, I agree. She should. And Heavenly was being messy about it, for sure. So we know that Quad has not shared with the ladies about her fertility journey, or about the fact that none of her eggs are viable. Listen, I feel bad for, this is another thing I'm about to say about Quad, which is why her time is up. I think her time has been up, but they keep like trying to pull. So, like, to your point, all of a sudden here we are with this fertility journey. Now, let me speak candid. And I love women, right? I would definitely consider myself a feminist, but I think I'm a realist feminist, right? You know, like, so it's not this thing of like I hate men, but it's more like I do think that women have a great power within them, and that we are deserving of so much more. You know, like I love us, okay? However, I am very, and this is a show we here to do reviews, we here to set judgments. I remember, we all remember when she was with Greg. He wanted that baby so bad. She seemed to be, I remember having the opinion that Quad did not want children in general. Not anything that, even though she explained it to us that, oh, the marriage wasn't right, I didn't think this would be a good situation to bring a baby in. Now, while that sounds so responsible, right? At the time, we can all say, okay, that's understandable, because I got kids. I'm just about to tell you, it ain't never a good time to have kids. I mean, now, even if you got all the finances, right? Like, kids is a monkey wrench nobody's ready for, you know?
I can understand that, yes.
Right? Nobody's ready for it, right? You know, so because you don't know, and that's part of, you don't get to, like, you can be healthy, you can do all the things, go to your doctor, you just don't know what is about to happen until that baby is in your arms. And then when it comes to you in a relationship, it changes the dynamics of everything. So now that there is something like, if you don't have a good foundation before, it's probably not a great idea to decide to walk into a decision about starting a family, you know. Absolutely. So with that, I let it go. So going back with the type of feminist I am, I'm okay with women deciding that they don't want to have children. I am not of the belief that every woman has to be a mother. I don't believe that. Now, if you want to, cool, great. And I'm gonna tell you, it is one of the, you have kids, it's an experience that nobody can tell you. You have, like, it is something amazing to be a part of, you know, to grow something in your body and to take over your body. And then to, you know, like, to give birth, and just to the transformation of what your body is even capable of doing in that stage. You know, it is something that it's something. That's all I can say, you know. However, again, but I don't think that just because you're a woman, that is the purpose that you've been put here for. I think it's okay that if you don't want to, that you don't. And I feel like we should give women more permission to sit in that type of space and not feel bad about it. Because I think when the fertility issues come up now, and so going back to the things I don't like somebody using certain circumstances to evoke an emotion out of me, right? So again, I gave Quad that many years ago because I determined from her conversation, from her action, body language, all of it. I said, Quad don't want to have any kids, and that's okay, right? But that's not something that you're comfortable with blurting out. And I guess maybe you feel like maybe you would change your mind. So let's go back now. Let's fast forward to her with King. It didn't make sense to me. It feels like a ploy for a storyline. Now I know that's a long, like the long jump. You think somebody's gonna go have fertility treatments all the way in Ghana specifically for a storyline? My answer is yes. Now, not specifically for a storyline, but I think that it all lined up, right? It's very attractive when you can see a man being a father to his child, children. It's sexy to me. I like to spend time with the kids, So for me, I kind of said, "Oh, I understand." Like she got with this guy. She done seen him the way he is with his daughter without taking into question whatever the situation is of why he's not in the house with his daughter. See, that's why I'm single, y'all, because I have those types
of about that.
Huh?
King did a lot of stuff and said a lot of stuff that I was curious about and was curious to know. He just seemed like the only reason why he wanted another kid was to have a masculine child, to have a son for legacy purposes and all that stuff. I think it was more than that.
How would you let a man talk to you about helping him with his legacy and he hasn't even married you? Because that would be why you were able to at least to get me to give you a part of your legacy, right? You don't have to give it to me. But again, we have to normalize those conversations and that type of thinking.
The same man who was saying last season that there's a sequence to. Remember when they're talking about moving in and stuff like that? There's an order to things or whatever. So I think they were coming from two different places and two different
laser focus
on the whole. I think it was laser focused on not specifically the baby as much as like the whole. She was back in my mother cooking pancakes in the morning in an apron. Like she was back into that whole, I feel like, angle of thinking more so when she met and met him and stuff and kind of just was all gas and no brakes from then on out. I do think that, to your point, when she was single doing whatever, like she was completely not even thinking about that until she was thinking about it. And
it's okay, you're allowed to change your mind, but don't like Simone had the conversation with her all those years ago. How many patients she had that, in the time frame of when your eggs are prime and all of that, she wasn't trying to do anything. And so what she said, she's like, you don't know how many women push it off, and then when they're ready or when when the clock really is knocking on your door, now you have these barriers, that are going to keep you from being able to get to that finish line.
I feel like that's a good point too, because knowing how purposeful Quad is about a lot of stuff, I feel like in her life, she would have froze her eggs if she really was thinking about motherhood, I feel. And I will say too, because I know people in my own personal life who at one point in time didn't want kids, didn't think about kids or anything like that. And it had everything to do with the person they were with. So I do feel like you can change your mind depending on who you're with. I think all these things are
it's interesting that you would say it that way, because now I'm thinking, well, wouldn't that bring up a different question? Like, why are you with this person? If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen it happen.
Like, if you knew you wanted to have kids, but not with this man, then I think that you.
No, that's a problem. I'm more so I'm saying from the angle of knowing the people that just were like, no, I'm fine in my life. Like I like, just us, or not looking at it as a broken thing, and then getting out of it and realizing, oh wait, subconsciously it was always because I never, felt either secure subconsciously or
Jeannie Mai, whatever her name is. She's a good example with her first marriage, because they had decided, they both said that they didn't want children, and so that was, it was kind of the thing. Of course, if you don't want kids, you got to get with somebody who doesn't want them also. But her husband changed his mind.
Yep.
About it. So that's how they ended up with the divorce. But to your point, in turn, she has her daughter with Easy now, which would say that she changed her mind also, about that. So listen, I can give grace for that. Like, I can be a stickler about some things, but I can give grace for that, because, like, what I will say for me and my journey to motherhood, and so I do try to be understanding, because what I realized is I had my children young. There were no issues about, getting pregnant. So some of those barriers did not be, I don't have the full knowledge of what that takes out of you. I had my children easily, right? So okay.
Yeah.
But I think it was premature. I agree with you. You not moved in with each other, but y'all flying all across the ocean to, have fertility treatments. The other thing I questioned was, like, what made you go all the way to Ghana so there was a time where, doing this type of thing was such a hush and everybody kept it under wraps. It's not like that today. And so you're around people, you have relationships with people who it's all around you. So I wonder if it's a price thing. So what she do, what I remember her saying in the earlier episode was that she had a friend who had twins, and she asked about the doctor, and the doctor was in Ghana. So I took that to interpret that you're trying to have twins. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that there's an expectation of you having multiple children. Because again, it didn't feel like enough reason for you to go over to Ghana when there's plenty of doctors that do what you need them to do right here. And so going back to me saying I don't like people using different things to evoke a particular emotion out of me. I feel manipulated because if it feels very extra. And now you have to have that, like, now there's this bigger emotion on top of what you're doing just in general. The fact that you are in a fertility journey, but now it's the fact that you throwing in that y'all going over to Ghana, and and you got a doctor over here doing stuff that you got to consult all the way back with somebody in the States, and it felt like you created barriers where you didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like if this was really what you are determined to get done.
Yeah. I think that's the interesting thing about life, though. Maybe it was supposed to happen exactly how it did, because that revealed to them that they shouldn't be together. And maybe super easy. Hey, maybe if it was super easy and they just were able to do it around the corner in Atlanta, that could have potentially landed them in a situation where they realized, oh wait, we got a baby now and we don't really want to be together. Like we don't even like each other like that. So
Yeah.
It just happened.
I feel like they probably just had like good sex, of course, because they were talking about they was
15 times a week.
Right? And yeah, so does anybody work? Like, is that realistic?
Like that makes me concerned. Like when I hear that, and
I agree. See,
like,
because then I told y'all that's the type of feminist I am. That I agree with you. Saying something like that for me feels like a man has you as an idea like you are some sex toy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it sounds superficial too, because it's just like is that a component to relationships? Is that important? Okay, but there's a lot more with that. So it's still surface level though. At the same time, you guys know you're sexually compatible. Okay, what else?
Right. Which, hell, that's the one that gets you in trouble.
I want to know what his house looked like. Why do we never see his house? Like it was
yeah.
No, I'm not even gonna say that because he.
What you say? Move on, honey.
No, I'm just. I don't. Based on what, again, I know you still have to watch the interview with Carlos.
You can still say whatever because I'm still watching.
It was more so. I just want, when you do watch it, I want you to come back and let me know if you think that maybe we'll see King again on the show, kind of like a Greg situation.
Okay.
I say that because him and Eugene rapport. And it seems like Toya's cool with it too. So I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen. But I'm not convinced.
I hope he goes away. Like, if he's not with Choir, he needs to go back to wherever she came and brought him back. And not to say that y'all can't be friends, but whatever y'all do, it needs to be all off camera. Like, we're done with him, right? Yeah, we're done with him. So I am gonna look out for that. I think it's possible. I'm trying to figure out if there are any scenes that are left with King and Quad. Because again, so it's funny, I love when the reality stars come out and they try to read us about whatever going on in their life, and it was like, oh, it happened months ago, and it's like, okay, nobody gave a damn until it showed up on our TV. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody might be checking for what's going on with Quad and King off season, but most of us are not. Like, so the only reason why, if y'all were together, became of interest is because the season is on right now, So back to that, she's like, oh, it happened months ago, and so I'm thinking that's what made me think, like, that conversation, because that was a very uncomfortable conversation. I felt bad for Choir because she cried, it felt desperate, right? She agreed. She said, if it's the money, I'll pay for it myself. It felt desperate, like she was about to beg this man to stay with her.
Oh, that's where I especially started to get off the bus, because I'm like, you're talking about, like, if it's the money, I'll pay for it.
Yeah. And it was like, no, this is not alignment, girl. Like, abort mission.
You're gonna sit down one. Like, that's who Carlos needs to interview, because I need to, like, just hear, where was your head at during the season? And maybe we'll get some of that at the reunion, but I really just want to know, like, where her head completely was in this relationship, because it's reading all over the place.
I feel like a level-headed Quad that was making the decision like what she did, like not to give Greg a child because of the state of their relationship. It didn't feel like the two Quads, the brain was the same Quad. But again, you loved him. Maybe you felt, like, clearly there was something else different that she felt with him. And I'm just going to say this. I think the baby thing came as a way to kind of lock him down. Like the same way men might do that with women. Like, some men, like, purposely want to get a woman pregnant so that can be their baby mama, child's mother, whatever. And I think women do the same. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's what Quad was. I think that Quad was not thinking clearly.
I think she was like, "This is he checks most of the boxes. Okay, let's
exactly outside of but being chauvinistic, in this because there's a healthy level of a chauvinist that I can be, or I'm gonna use like the chauvinistic idealism, right? That I can get behind, because for me, I can be as untraditional as I can be very traditional also, in the setup and stuff. But like you said, like, so Miss B Carter said 15 times a week is not a lot. I would disagree. That's like you need a blow up doll or something. And I'm gonna be really concerned about why. It's just like I say this about men or anybody with these different fetishes or all of this extracurricular type of activity of people participate in. I'm always looking for the why. Like, why does it take that much? So yeah, why would a person need to have sex 15 times a week?
It's just specifically quantifying it to the number. That's just, I mean, if it happens a little bit more on this week versus a little bit less on this week, it's just something about like, yes, 15 times a week. The way that they were just like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel love. It doesn't feel passionate. Like nothing about what that's my mind says. Oh, you think I'm just here to lay on my back? Like this. And that's a problem for me. You know what I mean? Like that's a problem for me. And it could have been just like again, as women, we have learned to sacrifice ourselves for other people. And I'm not saying that women don't have sex drives. I understand that. But what I am saying too is that you can find yourself operating in spaces that maybe you wouldn't, but it's out of you trying to satisfy this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Life though, like it's just, I'm thinking, okay, like so it has to happen, like for instance, like every day, every morning and every night. And like, so for 7 days, every single week, like you're in that mood, in that state,
yeah,
headache or something. Like, I don't know. You're just always just so available like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when do y'all work? When do y'all do anything else?
Not tired one night. I don't know. Like,
that's a lot. And listen, I'm okay with every day. Like if you say
yes,
every day or something, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 3-4 times a week. I'm okay with that. But I agree with you. The 15 times a day, you have time. And are you okay? Like
yes, exactly. I don't know.
And are you okay? Because no, don't come beating my thing up like that. Like, no, go get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
But so with that being said, really quick, let's pull up the seating chart because that fertility journey has gotten Quad first chair.
Apparently.
It's been a while since she's been first chair, right? Probably since her married to Greg days, or going to divorce. So tell me, when you got the seating chart, what did you think?
I was like, okay, interesting. We got a Simone and Jackie drop down, we haven't seen that in a couple seasons. Mm-hmm. So of course I noted that right off the bat. And then I was like, Jackie can get dropped down at least one more, I feel like. And honestly, Heavenly as a friend, I feel like has been delivering a lot more than, Jackie.
So Heavenly just clocking in as a friend, which is funny. Because I'm like, you ain't even got to work as hard, like, but you clocking in.
They can switch for sure. And then I was kind of like, I don't
think it's Quad's first time. I think Quad was in the first chair during maybe not though. Maybe
not. I gotta go back and check. I'm not sure.
That's right. I'm with you. I gotta go back and check because I might be confusing them having the 101 with Quad having a first chair thing. Because that's kind of the reunion that I'm thinking she may have had the first chair. That, you know, do you remember the season where Greg got on the floor and was rolling around on the floor?
Yes.
When he was
yes. Yeah.
But if it's a first time with the first chair, I mean, listen, I wouldn't even be surprised at that information simply because she don't be bringing, ain't nothing really going on with her to the extent where she would need it to have the first chair.
Well, but then I would also kind of say that for pretty much everybody else, then unless they're taking into account, like we just said, the her breakup, whatever.
Yeah.
If that's moving her up, then okay. But if we're just taking everybody's situations into account and just switching it up by putting Simone and Jackie down a little bit and having everybody else being even kilter, then I don't have anything wrong with it. I think
I would say it's pretty accurate. I don't know that, you know, anybody else, like you said, outside of it being kind of default first chair for Jackie and Simone. Because for me, listen, this is not a dig to the season. Married to Medicine does a great job they just do a great job of being entertaining. And for me, it just kind of flows, right? I don't think there's anything that's any more explosive than not. I don't consider it a boring show. I enjoy it. I enjoy the husbands. I enjoy they back and forth most of the time, you know. So like, yeah, I agree. Quad had to get that first chair simply because in addition to the fertility journey not being successful and then finding out, confirming her separation or breakup with King. Now, does that mean we're gonna get any information? Maybe not. Because I would love for her. She gave us a very tasteful statement about, you know, in Quad fashion, classy, all of that. However, don't play with me in my face and try to make it seem like it's not directly, you know, lined to this fertility stuff. I can hear it in that man's voice on the camera. That's why I'm going back to saying, like, was that the breakup? Like, and I wonder how much of her and King are we about to see for the rest of the season, and what does that look like? I'm gonna be looking for it, because for me, he very much was saying he did not want to continue anymore, that it was over, it was draining. And not for nothing, I can understand him, because it felt very fast. It felt like a real, and it felt premature that you would be taking those steps with this guy. And like, and yeah, and that's a lot financially. Like, and then not only are you doing this financially, you are traveling thousands of miles, you know what I mean, somewhere else, when you got plenty of fertility treatments, you know, right in your own city. But
he's been saying a lot of like backhanded, like low key, like making a lot of like weird digs at her, though, I feel like at the same time this season, just in some of the things that he said that I picked up on, that make me think that he really don't like her. And I don't know if that's because of the state they're in now, because of the fertility stuff, or because he just really don't really like her for real.
Maybe the newness would wore off. You know, sometimes like I could be a bit much for people, and sometimes like what started off as cute now get on your nerves.
That's true, which is, again, all these come back to the reason why it's good that they didn't have a baby together.
Exactly. So, right, you know, going back to that saying we all have heard is God's rejection is his protection, you know. So I do agree. Even though if having a child if Quad is wanting to have a child, then I want that for her.
Yes.
You know. But also I don't want to see her in I don't want to see her forcing, and especially at the age that we are, like we not like I don't want to find her in a position that people in their 20s end up in. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're not vetting your circumstances and your person, and like,
and then you wind up in child support for the next 18 plus years. Like that's law for them. Yeah. So
let's see what Chanel says. He should have never agreed to it. So King is flawed in this as well. He is just coming off strange to me. He definitely throws digs at her. You say it seems like Quad took Sweet Tea storyline. Well, now listen, we're not even gonna go there with Sweet Tea. We're gonna leave Ting Ting alone, because getting on the TV telling us she had some her fight. What is it? Endometriosis. And I thought, girl, you at the age that you are, you knew you had that going on. What?
We can have a good conversation about that at some point. Yeah. But
yeah, you knew you had that going on. And again, like I try to be understanding, but don't play with me in my face. Like, just don't play with me. Do not insult my intelligence.
I never want to see that girl on my screen again.
That's what, girl. That's why I said we're gonna leave poor Tink Tink right on alone. I wonder what's going on with her and them doctors' wives of Atlanta. I ain't seen them post in a while. So I am gonna wrap up because I forgot the next scene. That's the next morning. Toya is asking about the dick pic from Eugene. Contessa is making her rounds with the ladies, which I thought it was cute. Contessa does. So that's what Contessa does too much. I call her Contessa does way too much. However, like, there are times and places where doing too much is very appropriate. And I felt like this was one of them times. It's your trip. I thought Angel, take notes. Going back to what, like how I said, that lady didn't call her. I believe them. She you didn't call and check on them people all day long. And that's what, again, why I said it had to be, because the cameras was down. So she must have felt like she didn't need to, because I'm gonna say a true girlfriend. If you just are with a group of women who you hosting somewhere, like,
just like out of sight, out of mind.
That you check in and make sure the people are okay. Don't invite me nowhere and treat me like crap when I get there. I will never do nothing else with you.
Ever.
So yeah, Contessa go around and she got her laptop and she taking notes from the ladies, wanting to see what their gripes are. Of course, we already know what it is. I heavily want to see if she can get Toya to shut the F up. She not too clear about that. She says she can try, but she ain't make no promises. So they all meet back at the pool, and so Contessa has asked the ladies to allow Heavenly to speak without being interrupted, to let Heavenly get everything she needs to say out. And once she says she is done, then people can ask their questions. This is where Heavenly, I don't know if it's a slip up, because it didn't feel like a slip up, but to me, it felt like it was an interesting piece of information for her to have said that she knew what words to use to get out the situation. She said she was unhinged, aggressive, something else. And then, of course, they didn't let her get it all out. Toya did interject, which Dr. Mimi had to interject back because Toya now want to talk about her gripe with Heavenly, saying, and I think that's because she is focused on taking up for Simone. So because her and Simone both have the similar feelings, like you can always tell when the people that ganged up, right? So they have similar feelings about Heavenly, so they have the same type of grievances with Heavenly. And so Mimi cut in like, well, hey, listen, we was trying to get her and Simone together. Like, we're going to have to get your issue on the back end. In the midst of that, Heavenly goes over to Simone, and now she's offering an apology to Simone. I thought that was strange because I felt like as soon as you said I knew what words to use to get myself out of it, I would have expected the apology to come after that. Like, I'm really sorry about doing that because I realized that I took that too far and that I didn't have to do that type of deal. I don't know, but that wasn't what was going on. And that's really how that ends with Heavenly trying to plead with Simone and let her know how sorry she is and that she didn't mean it. And that's where we at. So what would you rate the episode this?
On a scale of like 1 to 10, I would say I would give it like a 7.5.
Yeah, I think I'm about 7. Like I said, I think Married to Medicine is always pretty even keel.
I think it's a great show. I don't think it gets the recognition it should. Right. But obviously every episode can't be a 10, which is totally fine. And I'm okay with not hearing about certain beefs anymore. I do feel like when it comes back to Heavenly and Simone, like, no, I don't think you guys are friends or people that will ever be truly friends. And I think the same thing could be said for Simone and Jackie, quite honestly. I don't think they'll ever be the same again. Mm-hmm. And all of that is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Like, to your point, some of this stuff is okay in a sense because that's life. I think, I've thought about this of friendships, even relationships in general, right? Mm-hmm. We put so much value on time with a person. And sometimes you spend a lot of time with somebody that you weren't supposed to be spending that much time with. You know what I'm saying? I think that, and this is probably something I've just come into being 45, going through, my life transitions. There's some friends that I've had for 20 years. It's some relationships that didn't, we've ended. We had a long run and now we don't, have the same relationship. And what I realized, I remember when I was young, so I've had to work through maybe, I guess maybe abandonment issues might be appropriate to say. And what that means is so I had the habit of staying in a lot of places way too long. And really because I did put the value of I've known this person this long, or, you know what I mean? Just kind of trying to hold on to the relationship because I think I carried this thing of feeling like, that I have done something wrong if we didn't, you know what I mean? And so now I understand, because what I understand too is life. I'm evolving. Everybody is evolving. And so sometimes the version of us that got along, I'm not that girl anymore. You know what I mean? And so it makes sense that in this stage, that maybe we wouldn't hold the same relationship. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I had to get to where there's a different way that I look at relationship and approach it sometimes. You know what I mean? So going back to the clingy friends, that's why I don't really need a clingy friend. I need a friend that's a friend. You know what I mean? So that means, if we follow each other on social media, you're not going to use social media to feel like you're in touch with me. You're going to be in touch with me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, at some point. I need a friend that's a friend. I value loyalty. I value honesty, and so again, that looks different because what I'm saying now was not the things that I really value before. I just valued how long you're going to be here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, I'm using that for Jackie and Simone because it feels like that's the type of attachment they have. But if you need because I would agree that Jackie, it would be nice to see her have a conversation with Heavenly that doesn't sound like she is coddling Heavenly.
Okay.
Because I think Heavenly sometimes needs to get it as good as she gives. Somebody needs to be that flat out raw with her about her behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie ain't the one to do it. She too, unless she is completely different in private, right?
Which, I mean, low key, I think she probably can be, because I say that because of her response to Buffy and certain little, her talking on Heavenly's live. I think that has a lot to do with who the real Jackie is, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, and I think Toya makes a point of saying, like, we don't really get to see Dr. Jackie in that element very much. So it feels like you might be right. Like, it's something that the girls or the ladies know, but it's something that we don't get to see. But here's the thing. I'm okay with that, because what I understand about Jackie, like, Jackie is the pulled up girl. She not gonna let let you see her out of character in public. You know what I mean? Like, she just gives me that
anything that interesting there anyway that's in the shadows to make me be like, oh my God, I need to know what the real Jackie is. No, it's probably her being in those moments that we saw.
Yeah, you're right.
She's back there. Like, she's not out here living a whole double life. That's interesting. Exactly. It's just no.
And that's what, now listen, because that's what I had to say about Toya Tail, because I was saying that, Toya with her, so she reminds me of Angel with her, like, her the Balenciaga bag, the fake bag. And I thought, it's not a flex. Like, it doesn't matter that Heavenly is carrying a fake bag or not. We know that she can go and buy her one. Like,
always says she's the first person to say, like, yeah, I shouldn't have worn that. I look a mess, or I'm not a fashion girl. I don't like.
Yeah. And I don't blame her for going to Amazon and getting the dupe. We all have that dupe, right? Like,
okay. Not care.
But I'm like, for her and her attachment to these labels, I feel like Toya has let the ladies make her feel bad about being a stay-at-home mom. And I hate that for her, because I think that's where the things where she has to do that to help validate.
Annoying.
Yeah. And so this is my gig for Dr. Jackie and Toya. Somebody let me get a clip to her. Like, how dare you let somebody who can't even have kids judge you about staying home with your kids? Remember I said, can't nobody tell other parents what not to and what to do with their kids. And you damn sure can't say it if you ain't gotten in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
And I feel like being a stay-at-home mom, like, we don't talk, because this might sound anti-feminist, but it's not. That's because I raised kids and I understand. Like, being a stay-at-home mom is a flex. Like, we out here working every day because we have to.
Oh, they could never shade me. If I was Toya, they could never shade me, like, at all. If I was Toya, would I be doing certain things differently? Yes, but they could never make me feel bad about how I go about my life at all. But I do think that, she's internalized it to a certain point, and that's why she then shows up so annoying and so just over the top about certain things because of
but you're in the wrong group, girl. You're around a bunch of doctors. Like, I don't think you need to flex on them about your new Hermes bag. And not for nothing, I like nice stuff. Listen, I don't have none of them. I don't have no Hermes or Louis Vuitton. I'm a Coach girly, okay? Always have been. And listen, Red Lobster is my favorite restaurant. I always joke and say, I don't care how many high-scale restaurants I go to, I'ma always love Red Lobster. I remember where I came from, and the same with Coach. I'm always going to be a Coach girl.
Absolutely.
Coach is the business. But when I think about all of the higher end things like a Louis Vuitton, like a Hermes bag, it's kind of like, I agree that sometimes it doesn't feel like smart spending. You got your husband working his tail off, driving so you can have a $40,000 bag. And that's my deal. Like, do you know the type of income, the type of lifestyle that it requires to carry a handbag that costs $20,000-$30,000? You know what I mean? Like a handbag, not your scooter, you know what I mean? Not your, like, a handbag.
Yeah.
So I think that, like I said, she probably needs to go back home to her people in Detroit, which they might kick your tail. But you go flex that stuff around them, around the people who there's an aspiration to attain. It's not a flex when you flex around people who have decided they don't want what you have. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want it. So it's not a flex to make fun that they don't have it.
Yeah.
And you look crazy.
Yes.
And speaking of, with her being on the other side in the first year, now has she got enough?
I forgot to say, I was kind of like, okay. That's what makes me think that nobody had so much going on to the point that they had to be like, oh my God, you got to be in the first year. I think they all were like, okay, these people get along. Okay. In here.
Then let me ask you this. Do you also feel like they are filming the reunion pretty early? This feels early to me.
I think this every time on every show that they do it way too early. But yeah, before when we were talking, I was trying to look it up and see how many episodes we're supposed to get this season, but I wasn't able to find it because 9. I'm assuming we at least get 14, right? Yeah. So I was thinking 5 more episodes. That's still kind of early to do a reunion.
Yeah. I wondered that because I thought, dang, they filming it already.
Plus, I'm assuming nothing new is coming out tomorrow because of Super Bowl. So
right, yeah. Which makes it even more interesting. Like, I think we watched the precursor to Quad and King's breakup right in our face. Thanks, Kate from England. Thanks for joining. Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay. So it was Toya on one side and Quad.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So listen, that's that on Married to Medicine. I'm with you. I'm wondering what is up for the rest. I know we still got the couple strip. I do like Mimi and Steve.
I love Mimi and Steve. I don't care what anybody has to say. I'm fine with Mimi giving her opinions. I'm fine with them being on the show. I don't care.
I feel like I like the family aspect more. Now, I'm with you. I'm fine with her kind of giving her opinions. And she is analyzing all her friends. Maybe that's what therapists do, naturally.
Close to, but
I feel like their story with their son and just the rawness of that, I really enjoyed that for them. And it doesn't feel like you using what's going on with your son as a way to evoke emotion from the audience. Shamia, that's what I think Shamia does with her daughter. I'm sorry.
I agree. I appreciate their transparency. I don't feel like they're forcing it either. Some people disagree that I've seen online. I don't see how. I think that's really their true day-to-day life. I really appreciate their story this season.
Yeah, I do too.
Blast this year.
Contessa she is working her way to get her stethoscope back, honey. She has learned her lesson about keeping her mans. Even though, we gotta kind of talk about her and Brandy. Oh, I forgot all about Brandy, honey. Like
Brandy's clicking down for me. I'm sorry.
She is for me as well.
They're talking about Mimi being such a butt kisser, but I feel like Brandy's doing that same exact thing and coming in, judging people, always having something negative to say about Heavenly, placing blame on Heavenly for being the starter of everything. But a lot of these issues, these issues go back to before you were even thought about being on the show. And the fact that you don't see that they're antagonizing her every time she comes in the scene is okay, Brandy.
Right. I think she, like, to your point, she has agreed with what was given to her about why they are. Yeah. So that's I forgot. But what I was gonna bring up was Contessa with the birthday party, and right, her husband did the birthday dinner. Now Contessa, like, listen, you was mad. But she, like I said, she learned a lesson about talking about Scott on this television, because let me get this person up out of here, child, because we don't have none of that talk over here. Talking about the guy that's in office. Right, that guy, like, we don't talk about him at all, okay? Keep it light. Keep it light. So, wait a minute. What was I saying before then?
Contessa, the party, she was mad.
Right. So yeah, she's keeping Scott off of everybody's radar, and as you should, because I don't think y'all have the greatest relationship, but if it works for you, then it works for you. But it kind of goes like, she did all of this complaining. It's kind of what I thought about Simone. Like, I'm like, Simone, I don't really want to hear you complain about Cecil. And not that I don't understand what her gripe is, but it's kind of like,
until you get up and walk away, like, if you're
I don't really want to hear you just complaining about them. You know what I mean? So get that together. But she's working hard, so she might actually get her stethoscope back next season. So we'll see. Now Contessa has been a breath of fresh air so far. I think, like I said, with the trip, I'm giving her props because I really do think she does a lot, and she usually kind of works my nerves. But she is in the right place in the right time for this trip. She is what we needed for the trip. So good, congratulations again. Now let's talk about this interview with Karen and Andy. Did you watch that?
I did. Oh man, I did. That was it was interesting, to say the least. I will say, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, get this, what? You're lying. Oh my God. When I rewatched it, I did find more truth in certain things, but I still feel like, one, it was too soon. Two, I don't think that she sat with it long enough and is really able to say that she's fully healed. I know that's hard for a person who's not in that person's shoes to say, but I feel like with this dating back to 20 plus years or whatever, I really think that it's going to take a lot more time. And the fact that she thinks that she was equipped enough to then, like, help other people in there through their stuff and stuff, it's like, no, like, you need to fully be the patient right now.
Well, that's what I said. I said the Karen is always going grand dame, because I found that I think that she was glorifying certain things. I thought it was interesting that she would prefer to cop to having an issue with depression medication, and we're going to break that down too. Like, I love when people think they're smarter than everybody else, but then you end up saying stuff that you really don't realize, like, girl, you kind of just told on yourself. But, like, it's interesting that she doesn't want to identify as an alcoholic, because that's what it all boiled down to. Like, you literally was in there for this. However, she wanted to point out about her medicine. And like you said, she kept doing that. This was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, my kids said that I had a problem or thought that I did. 20 years ago, you know, and it was it's kind of the way that she presented it to us like, oh, this, you know, like this happened so long ago. And it's like, but girl, like this is like last year, you know what I mean? Like that you just almost wrapped yourself around the tree, you know. And then you want us to believe that it's because of depression medication that you have upped yourself. Now, listen, I'm not saying that she is not doing both, but what I'm saying is I don't know. There's not much medication you can get from a doctor that tells you that you can't drink alcohol while you're taking the medicine. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not for impairment of your brain, it's about the medicine just not even fucking working. Right? Like, because you mixing it with alcohol. So like antibiotics, for instance, is is something that you are not supposed to drink alcohol when you take it.
No, you're right. I completely I didn't look at it. I didn't even think about that though at the same time, because regardless of how much the dosage was or whatever, that still would be perfectly okay to do by itself. So regardless, the alcohol is the problem. Wow. Ooh, yeah. I don't know.
Like, as much as you trying to explain it to us, like we crazy.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I guess I was being gaslit and I didn't even know until right now. Like I
she gaslighting the whole doggone internet, you know, like, and that's like you said, it's 20 years ago. It's like, girl, do you realize that was just 2 years ago that you just got caught up on that video? Now I did believe, because I knew it wasn't no way. I said, ain't no way Karen saw that video and didn't take a plea deal. I know damn well she didn't. The Karen is in denial. That is true. She definitely is. And then the play up about like you said, it sounded like she basically was saying that she was organizing the meetings. And I thought to myself, because that's
whoa, how did we get here? It's like, that's not
okay, like y'all don't see the tape either, clearly. But here's what I thought. That's grand diamond, like making something a little more grander than it is. Because I think the question was like, how did she get released early? And so she said that she volunteered, right? And it's like, girl, now I spent a weekend in the jail, but I ain't never been to prison where I had to stay there. However, I watched a lot of movies, and I know some other people that had to do it. And so what I am saying is, you know, generally, and I watched British Williams interview also.
I think I watched that. Yeah.
But what I will say is, most times when somebody goes to prison or jail, there's always some programs that you can do to cut your time. It's always a drug and alcohol program. Most people, whether they feel like they got a problem with drugs and alcohol or not, are going to do the program because of the time that it'll take from, you know, whatever, from the time that you have to serve. With that being said, I could imagine that you were in the program because it might have been a requirement, or yes, you get to get some time off. Now, once you got in the meetings, I can imagine you maybe being more vocal about what is going on there, but I don't know about them putting you in charge of, like, I agree with you. Like, how did we get here? Because, girl, you was in such denial, you didn't even watch your own body cam footage.
Yeah, it and hey, Sweet Pea, it definitely reeked of like she was still in either some level of denial or just not able to, just in a sense of denial, because to have that many years, and that even when she was like, oh no, it was 4 alcohol related offenses, but only 2 were DUIs. Karen, Karen.
It's like you said, it's kind of like I like to tell people this when they talk about the devil is in the details. That's the type of stuff that we're talking about. Like now you want to get nitpicky with the detail of it, and it all boiled down to the same thing. I don't care how you slice it. Now I tell people because I drink, and sometimes I might drink a little too much. Now what I don't do is get in the car, However, I'm not going to be so snooty and act like I've never made a decision about something that I should not have, right? But is that something that I do on a regular basis? Absolutely not. However, my idea, like I had a friend who recently had something similar, got a DUI. And so my idea is this. One could be a fluke, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you start to talk about 2 and 3 and 4,
and it would have been more. Those ones you got caught.
Correct. Because correct. You know what I mean? And so it's like that would indicate that there is some sort of problem or something wrong with your judgment or your decision making or something, what I
mean? She was like, oh, when I watched that, I'm thinking nuts. Like that couldn't have been like me, like that, like she was removing herself from being literally in the driver's seat, no pun intended. Like she was removing herself from sitting in the problem. Like you gotta really dig deep and get down in there. Like this is deeply rooted into you, not like she's acting like she had like a body double. Like no, both of them were
right.
Like you're very ill, and then you can get to a place of being healthy, but it's still ill you and healthy you. Like it's not two different
versions. So it's like a disassociation.
Yes, she's very associated, and that makes me concerned, and also makes me concerned too. Just being realistic, this type of show, this type of platform, it definitely thrives on alcohol. Like there's alcohol like all the time, all around and stuff like that. So I am a little curious and concerned about how she's going to respond being back in that environment. No, do I see the ladies trying to shove alcohol down her throat or something? No, not like that, but it can be tempting.
Have you watched New York Housewives? Because that's what, for me, I think it reminds me of Luann.
I was in and out. So yes.
It reminds me of Luann, especially after that happened with her. And then when she came back, like she, and I think at this point, I think Luann is drinking now. Like she, like how Karen said she's in what does she call it? Lifetime recovery.
I'm in lifetime recovery. Like it's like I wanted to get
everybody who decides to be in recovery.
That's what I'm saying. Just say it flat out. Like there's no need to sugarcoat or we're not saying that this has to be your past has to be your future. It doesn't. But you do have to admit that was the past was the past. Like
right. I agree. That's it's very Luann-ish because Luann was very funny about the way she dealt with her arrest and having to go to the alcohol rehab. And I mean, listen, I agree with you, especially as we watch these housewives. We didn't watch Luann fall in the bushes. We didn't watch, Dorinda is another one that which is funny because you could tell how lucid, even though, listen, I live for Dorinda getting drunk and cussing them girls out. Because baby, she was gonna do it every time.
Yeah. I am.
She was gonna do it every time, get drunk and tell everybody off. Like, and I think, and not for nothing, I feel like there was a humanness in it. Like, because I don't know about nobody else's family, but it's like sometimes you have families that sometimes you got a person who might get a little too soft stuff, and honey, like you said,
Absolutely.
So it sounded like it felt familiar and funny, like and funny, but but however, you know, because it's not funny when it comes to like where it's being harmful. You know what I mean in life, and so to Dorinda won't ever admit it because that's why she always say I was put on pause. You know, I was put on pause, but I think she never really wanted to admit that like the drinking had really got out of control for her. We all could see it on that show. You know what I mean? Like, and again, not that nobody does like you the only one that's gotten drunk because that's not true. Leah had the same issue. You know, with the torches on the when they was on where the Hamptons and stuff. Like she went all crazy. Then again, it was entertainment. But when you kind of think about it, go back, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but the difference is that she was okay with saying that she has a problem, you know, drinking, that she probably should not be drinking. But Dorinda is never going to tell you that, honey. Dorinda is never going to tell you that. And so her and Luann got into it because Luann wanted to call her out about her drinking. So, you know, because she was newly sober. So anyhow, that's what it just Karen puts me in the mind frame of those two. So I think that's this. I would be interested to see what she adds to the reunion when we do see that. And I got to know what her deal is with Wendy. Like, why does she have such a hard on for Wendy? Like, what did Wendy really do to her for real?
I know it's going to be something stupid. So I'm like, yes, just hurry up and come out and tell us, because nothing that we've seen thus far has shown us anything. Hey sis, nothing has that she's done has shown us anything that would
I don't know.
Would justify this type of reaction. I have no idea. We have no idea what it could possibly be, but it better be something good. But I know it's not going to be.
Girl, it's not. And so I think that's kind of it for me. I'm just ready to get to the reunion so we can see, like, I know that Wendy not going to be able to answer too many questions about the situation, but, you know, I'd love to just see what kind of update it is we are going to get about it. I would love her opinion about the way the season unfolded, in addition to now having the charges, because I feel like there was a lot of things for me that didn't age well. The renovation on the house, her walking through the house with like she was, you know, what's the lady name from Dynasty? You know.
Yeah, there was certain things that I feel like wouldn't have made it to the final edit had she not been in this situation. Even like her debit card, her forgetting her PIN number to her debit card, like that would not have been so significant if this didn't happen. And that's why it makes this even more bittersweet, that it's been her best season. And it just sucks that it's going to turn out this way, because she decided to.
People sound like they know what they're talking about. Now, I keep saying, I'm like, now she's sitting up chuckling at everybody else like she knows something we don't. The only thing I can think of is the house did get. But here's the deal. Here's what I'm not even going to pretend. If you file different claims with different insurance carriers for the same stuff, then you did what they said you did. It's just as simple as that, right?
Like the way it's been presented to us, and from everything that we've read, it looks really damning. We see innocent until proven guilty. This is only alleged. Like we don't know. We're not lawyers, but it looks.
I feel like if they got different claims with different insurance companies, like
the email.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. It's kind of like, okay, well, that's exactly what insurance fraud is. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that.
Like it looks horrible. Like it looks horrendous.
Like that is the very definition. And you got 5 degrees, Miss Thing. So I know you know that.
it looks so bad, and it sucks so bad to know that you'll be facing 15 years in jail.
Who was you trying to keep up with around?
That's what it comes down to. It just highlights, I feel like, insecurities that we kind of have seen within her over these past couple seasons of her trying to fit into and appease and make herself present herself a certain way in front of people who don't care about you at all.
It's funny because Giselle been running them girls since the show came on, and she's still running them. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, Giselle, I'm indifferent when it comes to Giselle, right? What I mean by that is I had not disliked her, but she had not been like a favorite of mine. Giselle shows up as Giselle, and I'm okay with that, right? And like what she has under her belt that can't nobody understand, and I guess that's why everybody want to be her friend, is that she has I don't give a F, right? About nothing nobody over there thinking, nothing nobody over here thinking.
The network loves her. So the network loves her.
Exactly. Well, and that's because you can keep up the stuff, and again, and everybody wants to be your friend. Like it just, even down to Angel, who you called a catfish to her face, and here she is trying to appease you. I'll go to her trip where she say, "Oh, I got the Moscow Mule because I knew that was your favorite drink." Now, see, instead of splitting them girls up, you could have just made sure you didn't have no Moscow Mule for her because you knew that that's what she was going to be looking for. Even though that would have been bad hosting, but I'm just saying, like the fact that you and definitely going back to she created these things to make it sound like she was so intentional and thoughtful about what she was doing, and yet it all went to shit, and it's all because you want to be that girlfriend. And Wendy is in heaven this season because her and Giselle are good.
And that has been gross to watch. And not because I ever want the girls, because don't get me wrong, I don't want to continue to see the same tired old beefs. I think you guys should move past stuff. Like, I get it. But the fact that you've been so fast to be all up in her face, like too giddy about it, was gross to me. And playing this and actually playing into the mean girl antics has been like not cute, Wendy.
I agree. And not for nothing, because you are a grown ass woman. And I'm like, and you have a lot of credentials that I don't know, like I don't understand why you need that. You know what I mean? But again, so I'm saying this to say Giselle came out as one of the favorites for me this season.
Oh.
Yeah, she did. I feel like she, called everything out. I agreed with most of the stuff she was calling.
No. I now that you mention it, yes. And that's been so annoying for me. Is like I haven't had anything to really get upset with her about because it's so easy for her to be her.
Exactly.
Angel, especially, like I can't even be upset about the most of the stuff she did on the trip. I can't be upset about because I would be the same way. I'd be pissed.
That's right. And maybe she didn't have to talk to the girl that way.
No, on the plane
to Angel. Like she don't need to come back because she can't think quick enough on her feet. Because like you could have put her off that plane and told her to go get her own ride to where y'all was going. That might have been something.
Angel responds 10 business days after something happened. And that's not gonna work on this type of show.
Yeah.
Like you got to be quicker than that.
Yeah.
And everybody's been saying, how do you feel about Stacey?
I love Stacey. Stacey was my favorite from her first season. And what I love about Stacey is I don't know if she had acting like I don't know how she knew how to come in and just play the game. I think Stacey has had one of the best first season housewives that most first season housewives will have. I think she had the best. And even with the whole TJ thing, it's kind of like the whole stuff that she get caught up in with the ladies, like them calling her a liar. Like the stuff she lying about, like we don't care. So it's like it only bother y'all as the castmates, but I think she's a fan favorite, and I think that bothers the people. But I think it's really because she has done a good job of, she pivots whatever they bring to him. She plays into it, going back to what Angel couldn't do. Like, you know what I mean? With the whole, like even the catfish or even the eviction conversation, you know, was kind of like, girl, you smart enough to know that they just using the word, because nobody wants anybody to come and be like, you've been evicted, right? You know?
No, I believe that. I feel the same way. Sophie's cool. I do feel like she does need to give just a little bit more truth, though, which will allow her to not wind up in situations like we saw in the last episode.
Okay, well, I can't wait for just a little bit more be on this phone from Monique to Stacey.
I think I never want to hear about like Chris Samuels again, because he's like not significant to this show at all anymore. I feel like every single time, and even with Giselle, like she's so quick to want to continue to bring up Chris, and I love how Stacey flips it back on her every time. He's like, I don't know where Chris is, I know where Timo is. Like, right. I love playing that. And yes, I agree. I do think that she's had one of the best first seasons that we've seen in modern Housewives days, and since I don't even know the last time, quite honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. She came probably since, let's say, like a Portia, you know.
I could see it. Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a Claudia fan. However, Angel has taken her place as having the worst season for a first time.
Angela from Atlanta had a pretty good first season, I would say.
Oh yeah, she did. You're right, Angela Oakley, she did. But
another one,
Stacey Trump.
Stacey, like
yeah. Stacey Trump her first season. But you're right, Angela did have a good first season introduction too.
Mm-hmm.
Portia Mia. But anyhow, can't wait for the girls to come back so we can start talking about them again and seeing where they at. And let's see if Shamia is gonna tone down and bring us something similar to what we used to seeing. Like, what was so confusing with her really quick though, y'all, was that like you realize we've been watching you on this show, even if it wasn't as a main cast. So when she showed up, it was like, who this woman? Because that's not the girl. I thought you was a more, down to earth, down home. Again, not meaning that you didn't have all the grand things, but the girl who I'm looking at in the confessionals, that's who this girl? That's not you.
I can't. The way she showed up on her first season is, I can't.
Really?
Like, I really did not want her to come back. Honestly, I
didn't think she needed. I'm with you.
I wasn't excited to see her, but I was open to it. And then it instantly went down, like, fast.
Also, she tossed her friendship with Portia in the fire, like put that up on the chopping block like it was nothing. And I'm gonna tell y'all, Portia is one of my favorite housewives. I do like Portia, even though I can be. And if I'm not going to be biased, I can tell you about it. But I can be open about the ones that I like too. And so I'm saying,
I said, yeah, all the time. Like
there's not things that Portia has not done in the seasons that we've watched that have compromised what type of friend she is in the relationship. But going back to saying, like I said about Cecil and Simone, because I think it doesn't matter. The relationship is the same. Like, I think there was always a dynamic between the two of them that probably existed way before Housewives. You know what I mean? And so once Shamia came onto the cast, it felt like Shamia felt like she had something to prove. And so with that, like in those newbies, because I all of the reviews I did about Atlanta last season, y'all will hear me say, Shamia is the worst type of friend. There's no way practically strangers should be coming to you, right? And being able to get information out of you about your friendship from a girl you've been friends with for 20 years. Like, that's stuff you're not even supposed to be discussing with these people. You know?
No. She wanted to, what do you mean? She wanted to have a New Girls Alliance. Is that what she said?
That's exactly what she said. It was funny because she tried to convince Portia that Portia was in the alliance too. So and I'm thinking, like, you don't even realize how much that doesn't make sense. Portia was the OG coming back to the season. Why would she need an alliance with any of you?
It was so cringy.
It was very cringe. And so that, even though I know, because Portia gets a lot of hate, and so a lot of people really was blaming, you know, Portia, and I kept pointing. It wasn't till the end, because I clocked Shamia early in the season. I did. I clocked. You know what? I'm gonna tell you exactly when I clocked it. It might have been episode 2.
Not episode 2.
Episode 2. They went somewhere. I can't even remember. They went somewhere. They was on a sprinter or something. And I remember at the top of the episode, Shamia was and Portia was in the bathroom. They was talking. But by the time, so everybody was getting ready. Like I said, they went somewhere. I can't remember where they was at. But everybody's getting ready to go on the sprinter. So everybody's on the sprinter. Shamia gets on last. When she gets on, she walks to the back of that sprinter and sits down, and at some point breaks out into tears. So of course everybody's like, "What's wrong?" And so she ends up
the situation with the ex-boyfriend, I think, or
something. Somebody had reached out to her or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was the oddest thing that something like that your best friend would have been closer proximity of knowing this instance and whatever, all the players involved and everything. I thought it was interesting that you was able to go break down and cry in front of these strangers about a topic that was so devastating. I mean, because that's the way you explained it to us. You know what I mean? And so I clocked it. I clocked her then. And again, I know editing is what it is, and so I can't always follow like, that the scenes are given to us in the order in which they are filmed, in a sense. However, I thought it was odd that she didn't go to her best friend specifically with that information, even if it was in the midst of the whole group finding out. That didn't make sense to me. And so what I end up realizing is that she's doing whatever she can, like to keep the attention, to be the head honcho. And somebody has set her up for that. And maybe it was because of the house. Maybe it was because, of finding out whatever this fortune that she, but so I think she just really was an attention seeker. As opposed to coming in as the girl we already knew. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't have to prove anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what you did prove is that friends of should never be made main cast. If you get to be, and second, Marlo was the first one that kind of proved it. But yeah, if you come on Housewives as a friend of, especially if you come on past a second or third season, you don't ever need to come on as a main cast. Because I feel, and which is in the pudding, because that would say to me, you're not bringing enough anyway to be part of the main cast, right? If you come on as a friend first season, if you doing the thing, then you should come back as main cast your next season.
I could see that. I do feel like, for some, Atlanta has a bad rap at this point for promoting people that shouldn't be promoted. But like I said, it wasn't even episode 2 for me. It was just knowing that she was going to be full time, that I knew, because the personality gets on my nerves, the fashion gets on my nerves, like everything about her always gets on my nerves. And my thing was like, I feel like they both have flaws in that friendship. But that just made me look at Shamia more to say, like, girl, like, you've been not as satisfied with the friendship you've been getting from her for a while now. So why did it take to being on this show to bring that to the light? Like, you've been like going back to the wedding and stuff like that. Like, that should have been hashed out like years ago.
It was interesting that it was coming up through the eyes of somebody you just met.
Yeah.
You know, because you're right. Because I agree with you. That means you've been sitting up here with this all this time.
That's weird.
That's a friend you have to watch out for, right? That's like you said, it's been a decade. So, and even with, like I said, I'm taking up a portion. Probably it might sound that way, but I feel that way in my real life. Like, you've been sitting on this for 10 years, and here's my thing. Like, a friend of mine, you can't bring me something from a decade ago and then want me to handle it with the same care. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you've been making
a weirdo,
then I'm gonna think you're full of shit. You know, like, if you come and bring me something from a decade,
I'm gonna think you're a weirdo because you should have told me then, and why have you just been sitting on this?
Exactly.
We're cool. But we're not, obviously.
So, but we'll see what they bring in, honey. We'll see.
We'll have to get together when Atlanta comes on. It probably won't come on till like the summer though.
Absolutely. So listen, Club California said Giselle lives in privilege in her mind at all times. I feel like you might have a point about that.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know much about pretty privilege. Listen, and the reason it's funny because that's a twofold. It's like, maybe I do. I remember making this comment about, I don't know how long it had been, but I had never known that you were supposed to pay for drinks on the flight. Something going on. I was like, oh, like, they charge you for drinks? So I was like, I've never paid for a drink. For whatever reason, I've always gotten drinks on the flight, but they never came back. Except for this last time, my son got married in DR, and girl, we was on Frontier. That was the very first time that I have been charged for a drink on the plane. The very first time. So when I'm saying that to say, like, I have always made fun. I would always tell my girlfriends, like, when I go out, you want to come out with me because I don't pay for anything. You know?
I know that's right.
It used to be that way. I must have had a very flirty and because I don't think I have that same thing going on today.
Oh, stop.
But and listen, when the Super Bowl, I'm in Indianapolis, so when the Super Bowl was out here, I had a coworker come out, and we went out. That's what when we got back to work, she told, she was like, we didn't pay for nothing. Everybody was just like, yeah, like
fine by me. Fine by me.
Different places, so it wasn't like it was me and her. So it wasn't like I was with like a man that, you know what I mean, I'm dating nothing. No, it was just random. We went to the Japanese place. The man bought our food and bought our sake. You know?
Hey,
you know. So I say that to, I don't know. Here, is it her fault that she's in pretty privilege? I think it's everybody else's problem. I think that's a society problem, that they would treat you any type of way based off of the proximity of how they like the way you look. You know what I'm saying?
But above anything else with her, it's just like her character and the way that she's shown up in certain situations and some of the things she said. For instance, going back to Wendy not caring about her being assaulted, like, because she doesn't like her. It's just, above all else, it's those types of instances that made me look at her weird. If if somebody knows how to leverage their looks out here and use them as their commodity to get, what they want, or to get places that they want in life, then yeah, I mean, that's their business beyond that. But
I don't think she does. I think it just comes to her. Like, I don't see Giselle and I could be wrong, so y'all let me know. I don't view Giselle as somebody who is purposely doing the things that they put on her. You know,
I do think
okay, messy, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, messy, yeah. But I think that's kind of like a girl thing, you know, like a gossipy or, you know, like I don't think they got anything to do with the pretty part of it. I think she just is. Well, let me say this: she an AKA, right? I've always thought that AKAs were like stuck.
I just, regardless of, it's the inside for me. Like point blank, it's just who she's showing up on the inside to be. I've seen people act like that don't look like her. I've seen people that look like her that don't act like that at the same time. I think it's just Giselle is a very unique person that unfortunately I've come to terms with the fact that she's not going anywhere on the show, whether I like her or don't like her. Yeah. I just got used to not allowing her to work me up when the moments that she does irritate my spirit on here. Mm-hmm. And you know, she's been lucky enough this season to not piss me off too much. So.
Like Robin more than I didn't like her.
Huh?
I didn't like Robin. I was glad for Robin to go.
Robin used to infuriate me just because, like, you're not about to play in our faces, and that's why you decide you didn't come back, because you played in our faces and tried to put stuff behind paywalls. Oh well.
Well, not only in our faces, you played in your boss's faces too. That's what like you will be able to do that. Like, girl, we are paying you to film a whole show. Like, you got all this. That's what. Listen, I told y'all that's why I stopped watching them Kardashians. That E didn't catch the same memo with them, but that's why I said y'all had the biggest storyline living in your house for 10 years, and y'all was giving us this other crap.
Oof. Oh God, you just oof.
The biggest storyline. Here I go. I'm never watching it again because I had watched them up until that point. Yeah, I had watched them, but I've not watched a single solitary episode since. Like, get it off my screen because no, you won't play with me. I agree.
That's a lot to cut out because talk about how
you couldn't believe it when I watched him on that Barbara Walters special, and I said, what about
Hell on Wheels? My God. Oof.
You've been upstairs doing this the whole time, and I was so like, and I understand, like, it's so funny going back to that. I know people had different things to say about his plastic surgery and stuff, but none of that ever. I don't know. I didn't correlate those two things.
I thought we were talking. I thought you were talking about Kanye.
Oh.
Like, I thought you were talking about him and, like, you know, just everything.
In general. No, I hadn't seen when he was on there. When I was watching, they was just friends. I think she was married. She had married that basketball player for the 40 days or whatever.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, but that just goes to show that people will show up differently depending on depending on the dynamic and stuff like that.
Yeah,
definitely different types of reality, and there's different levels to reality.
Exactly. Right. Yep. So glad we got through. That's good. Y'all got a nice, good long show. Okay. We're gonna do some more collabs. We're gonna figure out some nice schedules. So listen, we are going to do Real Housewives of Potomac season 10 Housewife Awards. As a matter of fact, let me just tell y'all some of the categories. So make sure you are subscribed so you can go over to the community tab and place your vote on the poll. So we are going to have, and we're going to do this for each housewife. So it happens to be Potomac now because Potomac season is wrapping up. And so we're going to talk about just which housewife came out with in different categories. Okay, I finally found it. So we're going to have the MVP of the season, which we got Giselle, Ashley, and Stacey as the nominees for the MVP of the season. So you go ahead, make sure you go over there and vote. We're going to have villain of the season because you can't have the MVP without the villain, okay? Now, Giselle is in that also because we know they love to hate Giselle, honey. Wendy and also Ashley, okay?
Yep.
And we have our reunion prediction, which is like who was going to kind of take the reunion, right? Which Karen is in that category, Wendy and Angel, of course, right?
Yep.
The best read of the season. So we got 4 in that category, and we did Wendy, Stacy, Kay, and Angel.
My man, my business, my picture frame. Keep going.
We got most improved housewife. Okay, so this is generally for maybe friends of first time housewives. So we did Kay, Tia, and Jazzy.
Okay.
For most improved. Honey, Angel wailing, so she couldn't get in that category. Main character energy, okay? Who gave main character energy? So these are for the friends of, so that was Jazzy, Monique, and Tia is who I put in those categories. Of course, we got the flip-flop award, okay? So that's Ashley, Tia, and Angel, who was the flip-flop of the season. And that's it. I think those are the categories. That's what we got.
Yes, y'all. Definitely come vote. It's going to be fun.
I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
So this week is Super Bowl. We're not getting any new seasons, but we do want to do a traders. So I'm going to say, if you want to get together maybe Monday, we can do a traders recap for the season.
Yeah, I'll
because I've been meaning to bring y'all one, but sometimes I like being able to do a co-hosting because I like having somebody to talk to and get some extra, like feedback.
Of course. Yeah, no, I'm always down to do. I haven't been doing it on my own because I just too many other shows and different stuff, but I don't mind ever talking about it with somebody else, of course.
I know, I get you because I'll be overwhelmed with all of the show, and now I'm catching up on Beyond the Gates, y'all, because I got so
far. I'm so far behind. Oh my god,
so far behind too. Where are you at? So
like
far?
114 episodes.
Oh, you got to be further than me. I might be like right underneath. So, because what's going on right now is they crack me up with the articulates. Girl, every time they say that, I just laugh. Like, who came up with that? The articulates. Like, what are you thinking about? Alphabets or something? Like,
yeah, I'm probably just a little bit beyond you because they're still talking about it, but.
Okay, well, so that's what I'm saying. Like, she's trying to call off the concert, and the two ladies are trying to force her to do it. So she didn't kick them out the hotel room, and
I'm probably like a week or two past that.
Okay, but girl, so yeah, I got to catch up on them, and so I'm like, this is the time to do it. Yeah, on the Super Bowl because watch football. And Beyonce is not performing. Look, they're not having a concert at the Super Bowl. I mean, a football game at somebody's concert, so I won't be watching. I'll be catching up on my stuff here. But so we can get together and do Traders because I do love Traders. I think that's such a good show. I feel like I'm always telling everybody, like, you should watch it. And even though they have reality stars on there, I feel like you don't need to know, who these people are to enjoy the show, which is really good. But I just like seeing, like, I don't know, that whole trainer thing is just really interesting. It's just interesting. Watching them try to figure out who to get out can be so funny.
It is. It's a really, really good show. I'm so glad I discovered it. Season 2? I just, this season's really good. I can't wait to see it. Oh my god. I can't wait.
It is. So with that, we'll bring y'all Traders, and then we'll come back next week with the follow-up too. So that'll be the following week is when we'll come and do the Housewife Awards. And then do a reunion part 1 recap. And we should have all three of us then. So maybe it'll be all three of us, which is myself, your girl, Brandy, Janae. We got Barb Meets World and Word on the Curve, Miss Angela, doing what we do best. Talk about these housewives. I love that. I am a enthusiast, always have been.
Yeah.
But you about Salt Lake City. Now, as they add on new cities, and I can't believe I've been watching something like when they start to tell us the years that they've been on. I'm like, damn, I've been watching.
I was in like middle school. I was like in high school. It's crazy, and now I'm like a grown woman. Like
exactly, but that's what like. Well, to your point, I might have been early 20s or something. And so what I'm saying is like, even I think this about Sex in the City too. I was like, when I started watching them, I was like so much younger than them. Like now I am them, you know.
It's crazy.
It's funny, like nobody told me. But Salt Lake, if they add on newer cities, I don't find myself as engulfed in wanting to find out about the newer cities. I did watch Salt Lake City. I was okay with Salt Lake City, but the Mary thing, here's what throws me off. I don't like for nobody to appear like y'all just don't let. I did watch that documentary, and the lady said it in there because she made a good point. Y'all brought her back, and we just gonna ignore everything. You know what I mean? That was being talked about prior to. We allow her to come back in with a whole new persona. I can't get with it. Now she quirky and she makes some funny stuff, but I can't get with it. So I found myself checked out for them the whole season. I said I might just go in because I saw that they did the reunion. So I said, well, maybe I'll just kind of catch up on it one day and watch it all and see what's what. But sometimes they will argue, like, it'd be way too petty for me.
That's what I enjoy though, especially about them. They're honestly probably, if not my favorite on right now, then like they're up there because it just feels fresh with them a lot of times. Even though it is superficial a lot of times, I'd rather that than the low down drag out, like get people's husbands fired from jobs and that. Like, I'd much rather that than anything opposite. Of course, certain people piss me off this season as they do every season, but I'd be lying if I said I'm not going to tune in again next season. So
right. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe, like I said, once I catch up on it, maybe we can do a full season recap for them too. Because you funny, I do remember they are interesting. Because who knew that was going on in Utah? Like,
yeah, it's
who knew? Y'all kicking up shit out here. But like I said, I think that Mary coming back because I watched last season. And I was just like, this is weird to me, you know.
I can see why you say that. I get it.
I can't, like, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't know what I know, you know. So, but it is what it is because it's everywhere. And now they got Rhode Island coming out. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'm sure I'll just tune in for the sake of.
I'm gonna tune in. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tell anybody apart, but I'm gonna tune in.
Right, that's what I see. Everybody is joking about. They all look alike. They do. And then what else? I had something that. Oh, I did watch the new. Here I go. The new Shahs of Sunset that they renamed the Persian Valley or something.
Yeah, I have it like saved. I still haven't gotten a chance to watch it. I heard it's good, but I never watched the original, so I was never.
I watched Shahs of Sunset. I liked it. I like them. I like Family Karma. I don't know why they don't bring
things about.
You know what? Bravo. Now listen, this between us, okay? Bravo play too many games. Like, because I noticed for Beverly Hills, they started putting the girls watch what happens after the episode.
Yes.
Why y'all not doing that for our shows? Yeah, I just put that out there. Like, y'all need to do the same for us. Where every time y'all got one of them, put their episode, on the back of theirs. Because I'm not watching Watch What Happens every single day.
I want to see it.
I don't watch the after shows either. I
do, but I don't watch Watch What Happens Live unless it's somebody I want to see.
I used to watch it every night, but that was before we had many more options of stuff to watch.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, make sure you like the video, make sure you share it out, make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. If you are catching the replay, drop down in the comments, let us know what you think about the seasons, what you think about everything we talked about, and give us what you would rate the season for Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm rating the season. I feel like Karen being gone was okay. I didn't miss Karen, right? I didn't find myself kind of like, y'all need Karen here. I think it was enough that was going on. Karen really wasn't missed all that much. Now that's not to say that she can't come back in the fold and, spice it up. But much like Married to Medicine, they just have, like a steady movement. Outside of the trip, I think and they gave Angel 4 episodes for that trip. Now, if they sabotaged her, that was how, by letting that shit go for 4 episodes. But then again, I thought about it. That told us a very telling sign of what they had to give. It reminded me of Atlanta, Marlo's trip, where they spent half the episode in the driveway.
Yeah. We did not need to leave off on that trip at all. It didn't need to be that many parts. I did find myself missing Karen maybe like the first 1 or 2 episodes, or just from familiarity, I think. But then once the stuff got going, I wasn't like, oh my God, Karen. Interested to see how she integrates back into the group reunion. But all in all, I would give the season like a 7.5. I guess that's the number for tonight.
That's the magic number. Yep, I'm about the same. I'm about a 7. It's been steady. It's been steady. Poor Angel. Sorry, girl. I never thought that anybody would have a worse season than Claudia, and here you go. And the reason why, this is similar to why Claudia had been the one, because she did the same thing. She came in with an agenda about what she was there for. She was determined to prove that Portia got her car from a Nigerian, from an African. She was, there to attack Nene for Kenya. And it was like a dog with a bone. And she is the same way. I have stomached her through Carlos King's Monday Night Lives. And I've kind of gotten a little bit used to her, because I would do everything I could to avoid watching most stuff with her, because she's just annoying to me. And I think it's always, she feels like she has to prove herself, but then she turned around and she's telling us that she not. And it's like, girl,
interesting.
That's exactly what you're doing. Anyway. So that's what I say. For her to think that she could give any housewife some advice, you would have to have been asked back for another season.
For sure. Well, I can deal with her and certain. Yeah.
So, but that's it. I ain't got no more. I'm gonna get up out of here.
Yes, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
This was definitely fun.
I'm gonna go ahead and play our outro. You can stay in the studio. We can chat a little bit, and then we can head out. Thanks again, y'all. So make sure like, subscribe, and share.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.